Geeks Plus is a YouTube channel now. Our boss isn't definitely holding us at gunpoint.
Help me!
Please go check it out for some amazing moments like this.
Guys, my mum won't give me dinner unless you guys check it out. And by my mum, I mean Maylin off screen right now.
They're withholding our paychecks until you go and click on their channel.
I haven't seen my girlfriend in 3 days. Please subscribe.
I've been wearing the same shirt for 4 weeks. Maylene won't buy me a new one until you check it out.
Go check the link in the description, please. Go check it out.
Please.
Help. Someone's taken such a massive shit that they've clogged up the top toilet.
I took a shit downstairs, so that ain't me.
I think I took a shit like 2 hours ago.
You might have to sort that out later.
It's not big. I'm taking this to court.
What's up, you zesty zymoletic zoologists? Welcome back to another episode.
Zoologists?
That's the only word starting with Z I can
There's
think
like
of.
one out there watching us right now.
Yeah, he's like, I'm zesty, I'm zymoletic, and I'm a zoologist. Thank you, Joey. Welcome back to another episode of Trash Taste. I'm Joey with Garnt and Connor.
I don't think I've ever met a single zoologist. Yet.
There'll be the one comment.
Now there's going to be that one comment being like,
Zesty zymoletic zoologist
I'm
here.
right here. I'm right
I
here.
know a zoologist.
I know a zoologist.
I do.
I wouldn't be surprised if you knew one, because I feel
Why?
like in Australia there's a lot more zoologists
Yeah, it's
there.
just it's just next door neighbor Ted,
Yeah,
isn't he?
right. Because there's just so much more wildlife
Yeah,
over
they're
there.
all there.
Everyone needs to be a zoologist. Otherwise, how do you know what's going to kill you there? or
every
not?
time
You've never been to Birmingham.
Every time a snake pops up, it's like, someone call a zoologist, and Ted is like, yeah, all right, fucking let's have a look at this. Yeah, you're right. She'll be all right.
I'd never met someone who does stuff with zoos that is sad.
What do you mean?
People who work with
You've never
animals,
met a depressed zoologist?
people who like work with animals are always like the most chill, happiest people.
To be fair, I
They have
would
the
be.
best customers.
I would be pretty happy as well if I could work with animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you hear about these, like, they're always in Australia, like, yeah, we work on the coast, and they're like help coral or some shit, and they're just always like super happy. They're like, yeah, we just saved the coral.
Well, I
I
mean,
love it.
you know, what kind of message will they be presenting if they're like super sad?
I want a miserable
Yeah,
zoologist
you know.
who's like, turns out, planet's dying. That is fucking annoying.
Yeah,
Can't do it.
fucking kangaroos out of my backyard.
I don't know. I feel like you're either like happy that you're working with animals that you like to be around, right? Because you've chosen to be in that profession.
Trash taste.
Or I mean, like the only thing I can think of is
Sorry.
people who work with like venomous animals or something like that, or animals that can put you in danger. But if that's the case, you have to be someone who's enthusiastic enough.
Yeah, they love
Yeah.
it.
To-
They're like-
they
they're
fucking
like,
love it, right?
Yeah, they're like, oh, don't pet the crocodile too hard.
Yeah.
I'm going to chuck it. I'm
Yeah.
going to jump on it. Like,
Yeah, it's like those videos of like those like, you know, venomous like snake and spider collectors. They just like every time they're like, all right, I just got a brand new tarantula. This thing could kill me in an instant, but my God, she's a beauty. You know, like they're just like they're so happy to see this like really. To be fair, a lot of venomous creatures do look fucking cool.
Yeah.
Would I want to be around one though?
Does your life insurance?
No.
Does your life insurance cost go up if you own like a venomous spider or snake?
You might have to maybe like double vax that shit, you know, like double life insurance.
I think you
Like-
can vaccinate against venomous.
It's like, can I like double life
I
insurance?
don't think that's how venom works.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty sure you have to wait until you've been poisoned.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a snake with like a COVID venom, you know, like the newest strain, the Delta strain of like the Cobra venom.
But wouldn't it be so cool if like anti venom just like worked like that, or like, you know, antidotes for venomous poison would just
Yeah,
work
but,
like
like,
that?
would
It's
you really
let
wanna
me.
sit
Can I
there
get
and-
can I get the Cobra shot?
You-
real quick?
even if you did, you wouldn't get it because like why would any normal person need like 100 different fucking snake infection venom? I don't fucking know. What are we not? We're not fucking Killua from Hunter x Hunter.
Well, you know
we don't
what-
need poison training.
No, but like, what if you're like going to like a specific like area of the world that has like a
Yeah, they do.
specific
So like,
danger?
if you
right?
go to like certain places that have like really bad mosquitoes or something,
Yeah.
you get like
Right?
malaria jabs. Stuff like
So why don't like people who say like, you know, decide like, oh, I want to go to the Australian outback, be like, all right, just
that.
give me
I
like,
don't think it's that much of a concern.
well, yeah.
I feel
You'd
like
think
I feel like you've
until
more.
you hear about people dying.
I feel like you have more chance of getting hit in like by a car in the airport than you do from getting. So I feel like we should ban cars before we
With
ban.
Sydney Airport, definitely.
Yeah,
That place is a
yeah.
fucking mess.
Just feels like the dumbest superpower anyone could hope for.
Yeah,
it's just like that one guy in like My Hero Academia who has quirks against like every anti-venom, and he's only useful in Australia. Like everywhere else in the world, he's just useless.
He's like born in the UK. He's like, well, fuck. I can't use this at all.
Well, you can though. It just takes a fucking long time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you can build up some resistances to like some venoms. I don't know how much you can build up resistance because I don't know if there's been any studies of like anyone who's like tried to build up enough resistance to like take on like a black cobra or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd need to.
Yeah, I don't think
it's like
you need
alcohol,
to.
isn't it? You just get more used to it every time.
But it's like that.
Well, the more you get bitten, the more resistant you become.
I assume if there is like something that just makes, I don't know, like those ants or something that like make you really in pain. Maybe if you just like
what ant specific, like a
like
fire
a
ant,
bunch of them.
like the bullet ant.
What if you got bitten by one every single day? Surely
Yeah.
after a while, it wouldn't phase you after like 10 years. Maybe someone should try this.
Well, no, because
social
like
experiment.
what-
Who
what's the
wants to
try?
be bitten by a bullet ant
It's
every
try.
day for the next 10
Isn't
years?
there that tribe that is like revolved around putting a glove of bullet ants
they
on
do.
your
Yeah.
hands?
But I don't think they do it every day though. I think it's
I
like
don't think.
a
Yeah,
ceremony.
they don't do it.
It's like a ceremony. It's like Tim. Did you put my fire ant glove somewhere?
Honey,
I
it's
can't
time
seem
for
to
your
find it.
fire ant glove. Yes, dear.
I'm pretty sure it's like a thing that they do during ceremony.
It's like to
Yeah.
initiate like a kid into adulthood or something.
Into adulthood.
Yeah.
But like, from what I can understand, like the people in the tribe are more resistant to that venom than other people who have
Yeah,
tried
no,
it.
no,
that
well,
just
yeah,
come into
obviously.
it. Well, yeah. So I mean, I don't know why they like who decided that. Who decided that they would do that as a ceremony? You know what? Let's just like get a bunch of fucking ants to sting you.
Yeah,
you're a man now, boy.
I want to hear like the council meeting of like when they decided that they were like,
Yeah.
all right, so Jim's just turned 18. You know, he's ready to bear children. He's ready to be a dad.
Yeah.
But we need like a ceremonious thing. You know? Some guy's like, maybe just share a beer with him.
Well,
It's like,
well,
that's kind of like boring. What if we though? Hear me out. Put his hands into a fire ant nest. Genius.
I part of me gets it. I understand why.
I mean, you know, I'm not here to be
Why?
like, wow, your
Why?
culture is.
Why?
Yeah.
Because think about it.
Yeah.
We look at the fucking stars and we're like, oh well, it turns out I'm angry. Sometimes.
What?
You know, with
What do you mean?
with like star signs and stuff. You know, the only difference is that we just agree
Angry.
that.
You talking about like astrology?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm joking. Being,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
It's
Yeah.
like you're like, oh, I'm gonna get married tomorrow. Apparently.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought I was just like, I don't think angry is a star
No,
sign.
no. You could be angry, right, from the star sign.
Is that an Aries? Aries just
fucking,
angry.
I don't keep up with this shit.
All Aries are angry.
Mercury's in retrograde. I gotta put the fucking snake glove on.
Yeah.
You know, like they probably thought that it had some meaning and it probably carries some value.
No,
Like,
of course.
Like I'm sure, right? Here's the thing. We know that like jumping in a cold bath or something is good for you.
Yes.
We know that because of science.
Like
right?
cold showers and
But
stuff.
before, if there was no science backing this up and you were like, Connor, jump in the bath for health reasons, I'd be like, fuck off. I'm not jumping in a cold bath. Why would I jump in a cold bath? I'm not
Yeah.
doing that. It's stupid.
I mean,
why would that help me?
I wouldn't do it even if I knew there was health reasons.
Right. But like, it's like, you know, now that there is, right? And so I can understand why maybe these people have this notion that like, I'm sure there might even be health benefits to getting bitten by ants. I don't know. Maybe there is. We just haven't researched it. How
Well,
simple
there's
is
so
that?
many things that haven't been researched. We
Yeah.
don't know. I don't think this is worth researching
Yeah,
personally.
right. It's like
Right.
what if I told you that like if you like, you know, inflated your big toe once a year, it would help with curing Alzheimer's. You'd probably be like, well, shit, I'm not going to do that, but thanks. You know what I mean? There's so many things that can help X disease or help stop things.
Right,
Where you're like,
right.
I'm just not going to do that.
But-
When they're like, that one paper came out that one time that was
Yeah.
like, research suggests eating no more than 5 French fries at a time to lower the risk of cancer. It's like, let's be honest, I'm never going to eat less than 5 French fries. That's just impractical. I'm just not going
Go
to
to
do that.
McDonald's, be
I
like,
don't care.
I think like at the end of the day, people just don't care.
No,
like,
they don't.
Yeah.
Like if they couldn't convince smokers to stop smoking by like actual scientific research that prove that it heavily increases your chance to get cancer the more you smoke,
Yeah.
you know, if they couldn't convince humanity to stop smoking after that, then
Nothing's stopping anyone.
Then
Right.
what would like 5 French fries like? What would like eating less than 5 French fries do?
yeah,
you
because
know?
like the moment you're like, you should probably stop smoking because, you know, it could give you every type of lung cancer or, you know, just cancer in general. They're just like,
We're-
but it's kind of cool, eh?
But I think
That's it.
But as humans, like we're so shit at recognizing long-term effects, and by long-term I mean like more than like a week.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
something affect. We just don't think it'll affect us.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, it's a week away. Anything could happen.
Yeah,
I
we
could
just-
die tomorrow.
we just ignore the fact that bad stuff can happen to us by doing X
And yet,
thing
but
now.
yet, isn't it so weird that there's such like a disposition between people who are like that, where they're like, oh, it's happening in like 3 days from now, that's basically never going to happen, to people who, you know, say believe in things like astrology, where they're like, oh, in 73 years and 4 days time, I'm going to get hit by a car. Well, fuck, I better start preparing. Like, you know,
Which astrology are you reading?
you know, but like those kinds of like belief-based
yeah.
systems, right? Like, you know, not to like, you know, not to throw anyone's belief system under the bus. You can believe whatever the fuck you want, right? But like, that was one thing I always had trouble, you know, coming to terms with that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's so up in the air that it really, and it's not backed up by science in any way as of right now, that it's like, you know, why would you even think about something like that? Whereas like with smoking, for example, it's like, well, yeah, I had like 7 of my fucking friends' granddads die because of lung cancer, probably due to smoking. So you should, you know, if that doesn't convince you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it comes down to the point where, like, it's like even now, science, as sad as it is, science in this day and age isn't always like the determining factor over whether people will listen to what science says or not. Because nowadays because
science is the government, dude, and you don't want to trust the government. Dude.
Well, I think science. The problem is with science, and you know, this age of like misinformation and just not knowing one is a lot of misinformation out there, not knowing which sources to trust. And number 2, science has just got so advanced that the normal person isn't going to be able to follow along with what science says, because the logic is so past what a normal person would be able to understand that you might as well be talking about God or fucking stars in the sky. Because, like, you know, how am I going to understand what the fuck scientists are researching when it comes to like making mini black holes in the CERN like institute or whatever? Like, and they're like fucking firing protons at each other. Like, what the fuck do I know about that? You know what I mean? That's so far beyond my knowledge of understanding.
It just sounds like science fiction. Right?
It literally sounds like science fiction. You know.
Unfortunately, we're a sucker for a good answer and an easy solution.
So especially when, like, you know, the top researchers and scientists in the world are like, you know, when explaining like, oh, how does gravity work, and they're just like, we don't know. Then they're like, ha! I told you. Must be Jesus. Yeah. You know, like, just like, because we hate it when we don't know something. Like, no matter how significant or insignificant it is. And so when we're thrown into that kind of situation, humans are just very good to being like, well, it's magic. Must be magic.
A lot of the times we just garner towards what feels right, or what we want to believe. You know, it's like we like to believe that we're all like unbiased robots who only go with pure facts and logic. But a lot of the times we are very biased towards our beliefs, and it takes... I guess it takes a lot more effort to unbelieve and unlearn something than it is to just, you know, learn something fresh, or just like build up your beliefs fresh.
Well, I'm sure that happens in like between scientists as well, right? Like, as much as you think scientists are just like purely like facts and logic based only, no emotion thrown into whatsoever, I'm sure, you know, there's been instances where like a scientist or, you know, let's say like a physicist like comes up and being like, all right, I've got this new theory about how the universe was created. What do you think? Here's a bunch of theoretical things that, you know, we've been researching, all that kind of stuff. I'm sure there's been a couple of scientists who are like, no, that sounds dumb as fuck because I don't like you.
I think that happens a lot, right? And, you know, a lot of scientists are also religious. A lot of them, you know, because there's a lot of, we don't know a lot of things. And also science isn't about having concrete answers. It's about attempting and trying everything and then proving that there's no other way. That it could be anything else, right? I think that's the problem, is that a lot of people have this rigid view of science, is like, it can only be, science is 100% right all the time. And it's not. We're just eliminating things that we know for sure it isn't.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the time when theories are presented, or hypotheses or whatever, you know, we have so many examples of history being incorrect, and we fix it when we realize it. And the problem is that a lot of the time that kind of gets galvanized into being like, all right, well, look, science is wrong sometimes. They get it wrong. And it's like, no, science is never ever presented to know everything. We're building blocks.
It's the most accurate representation that we have at this current time.
We're building up a library of what we think to be.
I think like Tim Minchin said it the best, where he said like, science adjusts its views based on what's observed, and faith is the denial of observation so that belief can be preserved.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's pretty much it, because it's like science, as you said, like science changes all the fucking time because we don't know everything in the world, right? So it's like, so we have to kind of make compromises for what we now know, which could completely change what, you know, like say like 500 years ago when people legitimately believed that like the sun rotates around the earth and not the other way around. And then when they discovered that, they were like, well, fuck, all these scientists, what have all these scientists been doing for the past 500 years? Wasting our time.
Problem is that we're really bad as like humans of understanding stuff we don't know.
Yeah.
You know, because if you'd have back then, it would make total sense that the sun revolves around us because it looks like it does, and we don't have any other way of even remotely comprehending that it couldn't revolve around us. But once you find out, it's like, oh well, of course we revolve around it. That makes so much sense. So it's really easy to believe in the thing that makes sense in your brain.
That makes most like logical sense in your brain, because like like I said before, like science now has got to a point where a lot of the more advanced concepts where the normal person is not going to be able to comprehend, and so at that point you're just putting your faith in a person of authority that their understanding is good enough that they can, you know, take what these studies say and present that in a manner which you can understand. But at the end of the day, you're still putting your trust into something that you don't fully understand yourself. Which I mean, getting back to like the habits and the things you believed, even if, you know, science is like disproved it. Like, do you guys have like any like wives' tales or like any habits that was formed from basically at a childhood age where like your parents said something?
Oh yeah.
And you like you did it as a kid because your mum or dad said so?
Dude, I have a Japanese grandma. They are nothing but wives' tales.
Like, okay, so like to this day, like whenever I get ill, right, I eat a shit ton of oranges, right? Like I eat like a pack of oranges.
I know
a day,
a lot of people
right?
do that.
And like because when I was young, my mum said, "Oh, vitamin C is good for the immune system."
Where did this come from?
I don't know where that came from. I'm pretty sure there is some science back to it, but like I think I've read into it once. And yes, vitamin C does improve the immune system, but that's like one, I believe. Okay, this is all my memory, so you know, please fact check this.
It also might have just been Garnt's house.
It might have just been my household, but one, I believe that's to like prevent illness, so it like boosts your immune system, so it's a more healthy immune system. And two, there's only so much vitamin C intake you can do to really have a big effect on your immune system. So, but like that doesn't matter in my mind, because in my mind I'm like, I've been conditioned to think I am ill. I need to eat a shit ton of oranges to intake this vitamin C to have these fucking.
Basically, just like a Pavlovian effect.
Right.
It's like it coughs once. Where are the oranges? That's so weird, because in my house it was, if you were starting to get sick or you were sick, my mom and my grandma, especially my grandma, would make me eat a shitload of ginger and spring onion. I don't know why. It just seems like a healthy alternative.
Ginger's one of those things where it has that taste to it that you're like, this has to be healthy. I don't know why, but this has to.
It's because it tastes.
No one else is going to eat this.
It's because it tastes like medicine. And like it tastes like medicine before even like being put in a dish, you know.
Yeah, another one I had a lot was like if I got like a cut on like my knee or something. Then my grandma would tell me to put wasabi on it.
What the fuck?
That's a very famous Japanese one, though. A lot of
what?
That's a very famous
where
Japanese
did that
household.
come from?
I don't know. Maybe it's because like, you know, when you put like an antiseptic on, right, and it starts to sting. But that means it's like killing the bacteria, right? So someone probably thought, well, wasabi does that regularly.
Is that where the stinging comes? I think the stinging is part of killing bacteria. I think that's just like an effect.
I don't know if that's even a wives' tale either. But like I did
sure
like when I was little, like, you know, I was running around in the park and then I fucking slid and scratched my knee. And you know, it was fine until I got home and my grandma saw it and was like, oh fuck, we gotta patch you up, dog. So then she went into the kitchen and I was like, the bandages are over here. She's like, no, I got this. Pulls out a fucking tube of wasabi, and I was like, grandmother, what are you doing?
Oh, no.
And she's like, all right, just hold still. Just like fucking pulls, you know, squirts some onto a finger and just starts like rubbing my knee. And that shit hurts.
No fucking
like
shit.
a lot. And, you know, I wouldn't exactly say it worked. If anything, it just added an extra step of, oh, now it hurts and I have to shower. to get this
And
fucking
it burns now.
and it burns my regular skin that's not affected by the cut.
Awful.
So that was the moment where I was like, Grandma, you should probably like, read up on like some, basic first aid.
I'm just wondering where that started from, because like I can imagine it's something similar to like putting salt on a wound, right? Which is it sterilizes the wound as well as it could do.
Does it? I thought it was just painful.
No, it does.
I think
Can we Google this?
I don't know.
By the way, wasabi is somewhat antibacterial.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but if I pissed on your leg, it'd be somewhat antibacterial. Problem is that this is the problem when these things get some form of like, it's like, yeah, you're 1% right. 1% right?
Yeah.
1% right? I heard right.
I better add that to my 5-minute daily life hacks.
Yeah, is salt like a kind of like an antiseptic?
Supposedly creates conditions that make it difficult for bacteria to grow.
Supposedly.
Probably written by the same person who said
Oh my
wasabi
God,
was it as
actually,
well.
I thought salt in the wound was, you did that because you wanted to like be painful. Like you would like torture someone.
What?
It was,
What do you mean?
What, do you think it's like people in the pain Olympics?
That's why we say salt on the wound, because it's like, all right, let's say I fucked you over. To put salt on the wound, I'll do extra damage. You do it to fuck someone over.
It is painful, but I'm pretty sure.
Where did it originate from? Salt on the wound. Can you Google this? I'm pretty sure it's not medical or anything. It's like it's to add more pain to someone.
I mean, I think it came from like salt is like a preserver, right? So it kind of makes it hard for bacteria to grow.
It preserves the wound.
No. This is complete bullshit. You're making this up now.
Okay, actually, I don't know where I know this from,
you're just
but
making shit up.
The idiom means what you think it means.
Yeah,
it's worse for something.
Yeah.
It's not. It has,
Yeah, no,
it has no medical. Step on the crack, break your mother's back. No, that is not how that works. It just rhymes. You think that medical things happen or exist because they rhyme?
I'm actually curious. Where? Okay, is it so?
God,
does putting salt in a wound make it worse at all? Does it do
It
anything?
does make it hurt more.
Yeah, I know that. I know that.
It hurt more, but it's also like, it makes it difficult for bacteria to grow. So it does have.
Yeah.
It makes it difficult. It's so vague though. That's like there's a difference between a treatment and something.
Yeah,
that
just
makes
put some
it,
antiseptic on it.
I'm sure if I cut my leg off, it'd be harder for me to walk. Like it's
Put some salt in it.
Yeah, but that's why like you wash wounds with like saline solution as well.
Yeah, you don't do it with salt.
Saline solution.
Yeah, but saline solution is salt water.
Yeah, it's salt water. That's.
Yeah, but you don't put on those like the fucking rocks, rubbing it in there.
No,
like
we don't.
fucking-
That's not what I said.
Well, it's like,
the saying isn't put saline on the.
I cut my leg. And it's like,
Put some saline.
All I'm saying is, if I'm like lost in the wilderness or something, and I'm like fucking miles away from
Or in the Himalayas,
civilization,
put some rock salt on it.
yeah, just like
it's all over the
grind
place.
up a bit of rock salt and just sprinkle it on,
Japan though is full of so many of those kinds of idioms.
But I feel
where
like
it's like,
taking medical advice from idioms and.
oh no,
Yeah,
of
no,
course.
I'm
But like, there's a lot of like idioms like that, especially in Japan, where it's like one of them
Yeah.
that my grandma used to tell me all the fucking time was like, don't whistle at night because snakes will come.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until a couple of years later I found out snakes are deaf. So,
Yeah.
and then I started whistling like a motherfucker during the nighttime. So it's like, where do they come from? I don't know.
It's like like I said earlier, step on the crack, break your
mother's back. Yeah.
Why? Okay, I and as a kid, I was when I'd heard this, I was like, no, that doesn't make any sense.
How
that's
fragile
dumb.
is my
That's
mother's
dumb.
back?
I was like, I've stepped on many cracks intentionally after hearing this to test the theory out. Am I a bad person? Probably.
You go home, your mum's just like writhing on the ground.
Oh no!
Oh no, mama!
Well, think about how much everyone has collectively stepped on a crack at some point. Isn't
Yeah.
the Earth just one big crack? It's all one big tectonic plate.
Also, what
All Japan is a crack.
Also, what defines as a crack? Like, if I were to step on an ass crack, would I still break my mother's back? Or
I'm pretty sure.
so I
so.
bend over for a second.
But wow, how amazing how this scientific fact actually just rhymes as well.
Yeah, wow.
Amazing. Also, but other stuff that I don't really believe in anything like that. And even as a kid, I remember that whenever I heard these, I was like, no, that doesn't sound right.
Wait, what?
Like a cat crossing under going under a ladder.
Oh, yeah. Or a
It's
black
bad
cat
luck.
crossing your path is bad luck.
I think that's more like superstition, though.
That's a
right?
superstition, yeah.
That's
What do you is chugging a bunch of oranges not superstition?
I guess so.
It
guess
is.
so.
They're all superstitions.
I don't know if
Wait, what's the
You just
difference?
want to copium it.
What's the difference
I
between a
am
superstition
coping.
and an idiom?
So, idioms are more to explain, like it's pigs,
like an example.
Raining cats and dogs. Is an
Oh,
idiom.
I see.
okay.
That's an idiom.
Okay.
But
Oh yeah, so yeah, all of these. Replace idiom with
This- this is
superstitions.
superstitions.
Yeah, these are all
yeah,
superstitions. Yeah,
because you know, I guess it's superstitious of you
Yeah.
to consume a bunch of oranges in the hope that it'll cure your illness, right? That's superstitious.
I
Because
feel
you
like
have
there's
no-
another word.
You
for
have
it.
no, because it's purely
Bullshit.
no, because it's purely based on like hearsay and information you've heard and stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like
They're
there's
called folk remedies.
yeah.
It's all superstitious, though, right? That's what it originates from. It's all underneath that, right?
Alternative medicine.
I feel
perhaps?
like it's come from like someone's experience that has been passed down. Superstition feels more like supernatural, right? Where like opening up your umbrella indoors is good. It's bad luck. I don't know where that came
Yeah.
from, but like at least like
I don't do that anyway, because why would you do that? That's
Yeah,
why,
yeah, yeah.
Why are you opening indoors?
Well, like what if you're in like an umbrella store and you want to test it out, right?
yeah.
They have umbrella stores?
Yeah, in Japan.
You never get to open it, though, do you?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm cracking that bad boy open.
yeah,
in the
I
store.
cracked that bad boy.
That's come on, man. If in my own house, come on.
And then every middle-aged woman in that store looked at me like superstition.
I don't think they believe in that in Japan, though.
A lot of people do.
Do they really?
Yeah, a lot of people do.
I feel like in Asia the culture around superstition is like very
Yeah.
prevalent.
Because
I feel like
everything
they don't
is
call it superstitious.
Yeah.
It has some kind of merit to it. but
well,
I don't
because
think it does.
everything like because the whole belief system is very like spiritual based, right? So I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
a lot of
there's like
superstitions are more widely believed.
there's like I'd say a scale of like.
Yeah.
Stepping on a crack will break your mother's
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
definitely
that's
in the,
like- that's-
the lower end of
Well,
believability.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Whereas maybe I've heard this from many people, the vitamin C thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't
Well,
know if it has any merit. I don't know if it does.
I
It
don't
might
know.
have
It's just
some.
like there is some like really, really basic logic around it that you're like, I can kind of see that.
It's
I
like
just-
saying I have this theory that drinking water will help me feel better, and it's like you're right, but I feel like you're vastly like oversimplifying
well,
the
it's kind of like the
situation,
same thing
right?
with say you like your experience with like Manuka honey, right? I'm just like,
Yeah, that is superstitious.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is
yeah.
entirely.
I'm just like, is there any science behind that? But like when I had COVID, I was like fucking spooning this Manuka honey like nobody's business.
like a
it actually like helped my throat.
That's,
Like
what's it called?
it felt a lot better.
What's it called? The placebo.
Placebo.
Yeah,
It
placebo.
could be.
That's like a placebo effect.
It could be.
Which is like I'd argue is a branch of the superstitious tree.
Because I actually remember.
The placebo effect. Placebo is the documented effect that it actually has an effect.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
As in your brain is making up for some
Yeah.
form of fucking thing that you
Well,
think. will
placebo is
happen.
so interesting
God,
because it's
so
like
annoying.
it hasn't been like properly studied, and a lot of scientists reckon, and like a lot of psychologists reckon there is like something legitimate there, but we just
Yeah.
don't know what it is.
Because we don't know what the fuck
Yeah.
is happening.
Because
in
it's like
heads.
we don't know if it's actually a thing that works or if it's just coincidence.
Yeah. Like
Well,
The placebo effect does work. We just don't know how.
yeah, we don't.
Yeah, we don't know how
it's,
it
it's
works.
documented. It's like the whole remember the life flashing before your eyes thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
And how I was telling you guys recently, there was an article that said they were scanning someone's brain on a table, just collecting scans. We didn't talk about this on the podcast. We talked about it in the taxi. I remember this.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I got a good memory
I
for
was
this.
just like,
I've got like a catalog of the topics that we talked about. Because Joey mentioned the superstitious. We'd mentioned that in the episode before. I knew that, but Joey didn't go on it for too long, so I was like, I won't say anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, the guy was getting a brain scan, right?
Right.
And he's having a regular scan brain, checking what's going on in the brain. Oh, what's going on there? And during this generic scan that they were doing, the guy died of a heart attack. And whilst they were scanning him while he was dying, I assume they tried to help him. I assume they didn't just leave him like, no, hold on. Let's keep
like,
scanning.
hold on, this data's
hold
lit.
On, hold on. The data. They did find out that apparently right before he died, the part of his brain that was responsible for memories was like firing like crazy.
Yeah.
Which would, although not proven, because it's only one instance, it would back up the theory that
Your life
does
flash before your
Or
eyes.
at least memories start flashing.
Right.
yeah.
Which is one of those things where it's like, okay, I guess that makes sense because a lot of people have said that it's happened, and although there's no way to solidly prove it, but
Well,
that's
yeah.
Until then it was not superstition.
Well, we only
but
have
it's
testimonies from
just-
people who have
Yeah.
been in like near death experiences.
Yeah, right.
Or like
and then we have some kind of not 100% proof, but some evidence to indicate that the theory holds more weight.
yeah.
It's
We could kill more people.
basically.
like right before they die, just like plug them out and just be like, quick, get on the CAT scan right now.
We're gonna edge more people, I think.
We need more human experimentation.
we need
Penultimate edge.
what's that
That's
fucking,
just edging with life,
what's
right?
that, what was that really shit movie where they literally edge their life? The whole the concept.
That was
flatlining.
Flatlining.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
awful fucking
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
With a-
I never
supposedly
saw
really
that one. That
flatlining,
just sounded
do
like a
stuff.
dumb horror movie. But no, like, yeah, I mean, like,
I wake up and I just saw Jesus.
this video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Did you know, gentlemen, Raid Shadow Legends is a free-to-play mobile RPG game that has taken the world by storm.
Didn't know that, Joey. Tell me more.
Well, I'll tell you more, because the game is available on PC and mobile with over 600 champions to choose from, each with a unique history in the world of Teleria. Here, victory awaits those who can rally the right champions.
These guys look really cool. You can see just how much each orc is influenced by its tribe and personality in each design. Here's a couple of my favorites. Kreela, Witch Charm, is one of the best ally attacker champions in the game.
Damn.
Or this guy, Robar.
Well, boys, there's seriously never been a better time to get started. And if you use our link or scan the QR code on screen right now, new players will get a free starter pack worth almost $30 to kickstart your game. $30. And we're talking, right? We're talking a free champion Ina, 200,000 silver, 1 XP boost, 1 energy refill, and the 1 ancient shard, so you can summon an awesome champion as soon as you get in game.
Ooh.
You will find these rewards here in your inbox for the next 30 days only.
Back to the episode. Going back to like the salt thing and just
You're not going to let this go.
no, because you just like talking about it just reminded me about the time where Connor got an ulcer, I believe, and so like you've had a mouth ulcer before,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So how do you deal with it?
I put like ulcer cream on it.
Okay, what if you don't have ulcer cream? Like what did
I just don't try not to touch it
Toothpaste?
as much as I
Toothpaste?
can. Toothpaste?
I
toothpaste?
thought toothpaste works.
Is that a
Again,
superstition?
bullshit.
Okay, so like as a kid, my mum was just like, "Oh, just gargle salt water," or like,
I
or
believe that does have some. Because
If,
that's
if,
saline.
it's,
You're
an
making
if
a-
it's an inside the mouth.
You're making a saline solution.
It's,
kind of
it was like
in your
I would
mouth, like-
I would always
I don't
either gargle salt water or gargle
These guys. Sorry.
Damn it! I wanted to say that.
mouthwash.
Sorry.
I was about to say. I was legitimately right about to say it when you said it. I was like, "Fuck!"
How did we go from salt water to these
We have
nuts?
a million people who watch this podcast. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I would either like
We're a
gargle
disgrace.
salt water or mouthwash, and then one day my ulcer was like so bad that the salt water wasn't doing anything, right?
Yeah.
So like, as like a teenager, I'm just like, what if instead of just doing salt water, which is basically just diluted salt, what if I just go straight to the source and just fucking pour salt in it, right? and that I swear to God, that's so that's what I did. I just like got some like salts and just poured it all over this ulcer, and it stung like nobody's fucking business.
Right.
It stung like fucking hell, like burnt over in my mouth. But then it kind of numbs the wounds, and I remember waking up the next day, and it was a lot less painful. It started healing straight away. Now I don't know if there's any science behind this. I have Googled it, and I know like some other people do it as well. But there's no like I don't know if there's any back science behind it. But like after that, I started putting salt on my ulcer whenever I get a mouth ulcer, and it seemed to heal it faster.
I'm sure there is like some kind of science behind it, but
Yeah.
like I feel that's like probably the more extreme method of
Yeah.
fixing. Like you basically just napalmed your mouth.
Yeah.
Could
So-
be that the science says you're completely wrong, though.
Yeah, it could be. So I remember
It
one
could
day.
also just be a coincidence
So I
that it
remember
just
one
healed
day,
that day.
yeah, one day Connor just come in the office and complaining about a mouth ulcer, and I was like, I have the perfect solution. Just
Walks into the kitchen, comes back with salt.
Just pour a bunch of salt on it. It's easy, Connor. I do it all the time. I do it all the time. I remember him coming in like the next day or something, and he was like, "Garnt, why did you literally just convince me to pour salt on a wound? That's all you done. Didn't help any."
It didn't. I remember it didn't help at all.
Really?
It just like it stopped the pain for like 2 hours in exchange for like one burst of immense pain.
Yeah.
But like it didn't do anything.
You basically just pre-ordered
I
pain.
think that Garnt would have healed naturally without the salt, and I think he just poured salt and happens to remember that it then went away as ulcers do.
You basically
go
just
away.
did like ulcer hardcore
Yeah,
mode.
this is, the
Like-
problem with, like, this is the problem with illnesses.
doesn't hurt enough.
Yeah.
Illnesses that go away.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, obviously in very serious illnesses, the pseudoscience is very harmful.
Yeah.
And very fucked up that people try and sell solutions that are like, you know, they'll be like, just take our herbs and your cancer will go away.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, that's fucked up.
Yeah,
You're
that's
even
fucked.
telling people that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think the reason why with generic illnesses so many superstitions come about is because they go anyway on their own. And if you're doing shit and it happens to go away, your mind is like, I was sick one time, and then I played with my poop for 20 minutes in my hands like Play-Doh, and it went away the next day. And it's like, well, no, that's that.
Now I've got 3 other illnesses.
Yeah, and it's like, well, I have cholera, but I did lose the flu. It's like you can do things, anything.
Yeah.
Do it every single time you get sick with a generic illness that will go away anyway after 48 hours.
Yeah.
And then you'll remember that you did that thing and then it went away.
Yeah.
So this probably happened with like the vitamin C. You probably maybe have a little bit of placebo effect as well. And then boom, it goes away. And you're like, well, it must be vitamin C because every time I take vitamin C, my cold goes. As if you did nothing, your vitamin C wouldn't go away. But it's not how it works. It would go away anyway.
But I want like an experiment of like, especially with the vitamin C thing, of like, catch a cold one time, do the vitamin C thing, and then catch a cold a second time and don't do the vitamin C thing. Which one heals faster?
You'd need to do this like 100 times to get any data worth considering.
Well, there's plenty of sick people today.
But then everyone's different. Right? You'd need the same person over and over. But it's their whole life.
Yeah.
And even then, it wouldn't matter because we could just like view the immune system anyway with the things that we do. We can.
I dedicated my whole life to see if oranges work during the flu. Turns out we don't know.
Yeah.
Science sucks because science is boring as fuck.
Yeah.
It takes a long time and people don't like that.
Yeah.
When everyone's
Unfortunately,
like, maybe we can make it.
they want results now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's like, maybe we can go to another planet in 200 years. It's like, oh shit, I'm not going to be around for that. So what's the point? Might do it.
That's the problem. Back to humans are just so incapable of like really caring about things that happen in like the far future and like
Global warming.
Global warming.
It's the reason why we're so shit with it.
Like, well, it's not going to affect me tomorrow, so it's fucking whatever.
I mean, we've talked about something similar before, where like talking about just imagining 5 years in the future, or like where you're going to be 5 years or 10 years in the future.
Could you imagine what 2027 is going to be like? No.
Yeah.
Because everyone thought in 2012 that 2022 is like, flying cars, right?
I couldn't imagine being 30, and here I am for 31. Like, how the fuck did that happen?
You're basically dead.
I'm basically dead.
I think it's the same with like exercise, right? Like I know exercise is good for me, and I like it when I do it.
Yeah.
But I just can't visualize the benefits to my life. That's the
Exactly.
problem,
Yeah.
right?
That's why it's so hard to maintain.
That's why it's so hard to keep it up. Even though I feel amazing when I do it, I normally have so much energy. I feel great. I know and I can feel the immediate tangible benefits.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I just can't convince myself long term that I can visualize that, hey, when I'm 70, maybe I'll be a lot better off for it if I just put in the work now.
Even not even that. It's just like,
50,
you could be
60,
like, you could be like working out, right? And like a week later, you'd look down on your body and be like, why do I still look exactly the same?
That sucks as well, dude.
It blows.
You get that pump on, you do it, you go hard, and you're like, why? But then you eat like 2 weeks of McDonald's, and you're like, wow, nothing changed. Amazing. Which you love it. You love that nothing changes, but then you get angry when it doesn't change.
Exactly.
We suck as humans.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what sucks, right? Is that if you want to gain weight fast or get ripped fast, you also have to accept the fact that maybe one binge drinking weekend will fuck your body to death.
Speaking of humans sucking, I saw this recent thing.
Okay.
That
What a segue.
I mean, because I looked at this and I thought, oh my god, humans suck. But there was an article that came out not too long ago. I'll just read the article.
By who's the article first?
There was a lot of different articles that came out all over the place. But I'll just read the title of this article because it explains everything.
Go for it.
Lonely Ape has just launched a dating app for NFT collectors.
A dating app.
A dating app. Somebody has developed a dating app specifically for NFT bros to date NFT hoes.
I think the problem with this is that
Everything?
there is everything. But I'm going to take a guess here.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you reckon the demographic of people who have NFTs are?
Okay.
If this is a JoJo-esque dating app, it's going to work.
No. Let's look at this positively.
Okay, sure.
So what you're saying is we're going to be removing people with NFT profile pictures from our dating pool. I think that's a positive, right? Surely.
But that means that we're just like forcing these kinds of people to reproduce. Which is
Are you saying people who collect NFTs should not be allowed to reproduce?
No, I'm not saying that, but you know.
Is that what you're implying, Jack?
No.
Well, that's okay though. They go on the metaverse. It's fine. Let 'em
Just
have
like,
it.
but just like reading through this article just made me have like several aneurysms. There is no need to enter or display personal information. Instead, one can link their crypto wallet to access the app. Once logged in, the user can display their net worth and NFT portfolio.
It's awful.
What?
You can also filter your matches by their cryptocurrency value and the NFT collection.
What?
If I had $1 for every time I saw an article about something to do with NFTs that I despised, I wouldn't need to buy anything ever.
I was
again.
like, why did the
I'd probably own an NFT. I'd be rich enough to own an NFT.
I would be
then.
very wealthy. I would be very. I've not seen a single good thing with this article. It's never like NFT owners pledge to
stop global warming?
to save the world, and it's like no, it's like NFT owners pledge to have a yacht club where they all wank each other off or something. That's all it ever is. It's like the NFT restaurant thing. It's like, are you just making a? Are you just trying to make some kind of tangible effect that you own an NFT? It's like, there's some reason.
Wait, so explain what this restaurant
You
is.
need to own an NFT to go into the restaurant.
Yeah. That's it. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
It's like
So you just go up to the bouncer and you be like,
I mean, it's getting to the point where it's just like classism with extra steps now. Actually, it's not even any extra steps. It's just.
well, we've hated on NFTs like so many times. I just it sucks. It sucks.
it's I just saw that article and I'm like, I legitimately thought it was an Onion article at first because it sounds like one, and I realized, the sad reality, that's a real thing.
Even if they, they could turn around and win people back onto NFTs, which I don't think they can.
Wow.
I just can't see them winning the public faith back in it again now.
Yeah.
Since everyone has just seen how much of a mess it's been. And whatever you think about the technology or whatever you think about what it can be done with it, you have to recognize that the NFT, like this kind of landscape that it has become right now, is such a mess, ripe with scams, fucked up shit, money laundering, just every kind of awful thing you can imagine.
Yeah.
It has had such a bad public rap that it would not only need to come up with something revolutionary that is actually good, it would then have to win people back over by fixing its image, which I don't think it can, because the internet doesn't want to make it more regulated. It doesn't want to make it more fair.
It also just
they
seems,
like how free it is.
Yeah, it also just seems like that community doesn't really care about it either.
No, they
right?
do. They do.
Do they?
Yeah, because they push it onto everyone and everything.
Well, then how
Why
come
do you
they're
think
not?
they try
How come they're
desperately-
not trying to do anything to better their image?
They're not,
And
'cause-
instead making
because
these
it's a free-
fucking dating apps
because
and restaurants.
It's a free-for-all right now. Every
Yeah.
company and every person is trying to grab a part of it's a gold rush.
Right.
Everyone
Right.
wants their bit of it.
Yeah.
So
Because-
the reason why everyone is shoving it down everyone's throat is because they have investments. They want to make sure they don't lose the money.
Okay.
Pass it on to the next sucker who comes in too late.
Yeah, and it's like it's also so weird. Did you see the clip where it was like I think Jimmy Fallon like presenting his NFT with Paris Hilton? Like
Yes, an NFT.
huh?
Of course, he
Yeah,
does.
it's
Is it a meme at least, or is it like
No. It is serious. Okay, so I believe it's Jimmy Fallon, but Jimmy Fallon and Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton was on the Jimmy Fallon show, and they started talking about NFTs and how Paris Hilton convinced Jimmy Fallon to buy a Bored Ape NFT.
What a
right?
nightmare scenario.
And it was so weird because it's like I've never seen a clip of two people more out of touch with the wider world. So so Jimmy Fallon brings out his Bored Ape. It's Bored Ape, right? That's the name.
Yeah, Bored Ape. Yeah,
He brings out
yeah, the monkey is
yeah,
Bored
Bored
Ape,
Ape, yeah.
he brings out his Bored Ape NFT, right? And he goes, he goes, isn't this beautiful? Look at this. It's amazing. And like you can hear the audience clapping.
I've
and-
seen this image. I thought it was a meme.
Really?
I
No,
thought
no,
the
no,
image-
it is
I
real.
thought the image was put on the picture. he was
Yeah,
showing.
and I've never heard such a applause where it was so obvious that there was a big light saying applause,
Yeah.
please, because you could tell the audience had no idea what the fuck they were talking
Yeah.
about.
Another massive problem with the whole NFT landscape, right, is that it benefits the people who have big platforms.
Yes.
Right? If you have a big platform, it's free money for you. That's why people are doing this. If the moment something is advertised to you as you should buy it is the moment it's too late for you to make any
Yeah.
money. The moment that consumers are seeing big names promoting it, it's too late to make money. Yeah, some people might make money. The majority of people are not going to make money.
No.
And the majority of people are going to lose money. And the people who get money are people like Jimmy Fallon, people like any
who
of these
are
big
already
influencers,
rich.
people who have the platform, the power
Yeah.
to push people towards their investment. It's a glorified pyramid scheme in many
Yeah,
ways,
of
right?
course.
Because it's like, how do you get your money? By getting more people into it.
Yeah.
Right? It's that's how it works. And that's why you're seeing, like when I tweet anything or I'm mentioned in anything NFT, doesn't matter what the comment is, these verified NFT accounts like everything with the phrase NFT in it.
Yeah.
They don't, I could be saying NFTs suck and they can gargle on my nuts.
Yeah.
And someone who supports NFT will like that comment just because they've Googled NFT and they like everything because they're trying to get followers. They're trying to get engagement. So then they can push it more and have a bigger sphere of influence.
What if they just like gargling on nuts?
They might gargle. They probably,
probably
do.
do,
They
yeah.
probably do if they like
Yes,
NFT.
please.
I hate it. I hate it so much because it's so obviously a scam. Like the moment that you are being advertised to about buying an investment is the moment you've already can't make money.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's so fucking disappointing as well, especially with, as you said, like big influencers, right? Like getting in on it. Like fucking, when I saw that like Eminem bought like an NFT of just what looks like a monkey version of himself, I was like, why would you do that?
Because
Never before has my childhood
the
died
moment,
so
the
quickly,
moment
right?
you have a big sphere of influence, it's just free money.
Exactly.
Like, and in their eyes, it's low risk public image because you're not asking you don't have to, it's not like you're begging your followers for money. But what you're doing is making them pay for something that makes your thing more valuable.
It's heavy incentivizing.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can claim just that it was just an investment. It's like buying a stock. It's like, no, it's not.
It's like buying a house.
It's not like buying a stock. It's different, right? There's rules around buying
Yeah.
stocks for
Yeah.
reasons, right?
Yeah.
Even though sometimes the rules are a bit fucked.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, I mean,
I
like,
feel very passionately about this, and I hate the system so much.
well, I'm like, the only thing I have to add to this is like, do you think this negative image is purely, is purely based on like the Western circle and just like our perception of the internet?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Because like I've heard like of the like NFTs have a very, very different perception in like the Japanese circles and the Japanese, especially the art communities as well, because they see it as, from what I've read at least, they have a much more positive view of NFTs, and they see it as like an opportunity to, of course, give ownership to artists and stuff like that, which is a lot. Given the cultures, I understand why maybe Japanese people would be more accepting of this idea because it's like, for Japanese people and Japanese artists, it's a lot bigger problem than it is.
I'm
makes
all
more
for
sense.
giving rights to artists and whatnot, but I feel there are other ways that you can do it if the systems were properly implemented. Not to mention that in Japan, like the whole copyright laws in Japan especially are just like on the next level of outdated.
Yeah, right.
Like it's so like I think if anything, the
Of
reason
course
why
the Japanese are gonna
of course the Japanese are gonna look at NFTs and think like, oh, this is perfect. Like this
Perfect.
gets around everything that we've believed in and done in like a really cool way that supports artists.
like more ways to copyright shit.
Yeah,
bring it in. Bring it in.
Let's please.
That requires the good faith of all parties involved, though.
Yeah.
Like everyone has to be using it correctly.
Yeah.
And the problem is that
They're not.
in English. We're definitely not. At least in and there is some very valid reasons to own NFTs or Bitcoin or any of these currencies, right? Like if you're like a Russian person right now and all your money was in the ruble, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like your money's gone.
Yeah.
Like, you don't own much money anymore. If you had that all in a Bitcoin wallet, you'd still be very wealthy, right? So that makes that in those scenarios, it makes a lot of sense. Problem is, it's kind of replicated what the fine art world was before to like the big private investors, right? It was basically fine art. It was this glorified money laundering and money transactioning thing, right?
Yeah.
And now in the West, people figured out, you can make a lot of money and money that you can hide very easily by doing this NFT shit. And so it's kind of turned into more of a democratized fine art shit for people, right? Like the whole, you ever watched like Tenet? Did you watch Tenet?
Yeah, I watched Tenet.
Like the art that was held in the airports because it couldn't be taxed. That's actually a real thing.
I know that's a real thing. Was that a major part of Tenet?
That was a big plot point in Tenet, is where they steal they steal the artwork and all the valuable stuff from the airport holding the tax haven in the airport.
Clearly,
right?
this movie really made an impression on Garnt.
I just remember things going backwards.
But
It's
Tenet-
things looking
Tenet-
cool.
That's like the first time in like media that I can recall that has like told people that these things exist.
Yeah.
People didn't know these existed before. You know, it
Just was that a massive part of Tenet? I feel like I would have remembered that. Which scene? Which scene was this in? Was this in the first scene? I don't remember them
I don't
ever
fucking
going.
know the full fucking playlist of Tenet. I don't know what fucking happened.
I just like.
There was a big plot point about them doing a heist in the first half of the movie.
Was there?
Oh my fucking God.
The only thing I know is that the
31's been rough.
he's basically dead.
Oh my God.
When he dies, like his life doesn't flash before his eyes. Just Tenet the movie.
I remember them being in an airport, but I don't remember them
Why
pulling
were
in
they in the
heist.
airport, Garnt? Why were they in the airport? Well, why they were in an airport?
I remember them being in
Good
an airport.
question. Maybe they were getting a flight or something. No, they were investigating This is a complete fucking tangent right now because we're going into.
Okay.
They were investigating the phenomena, right? That the phenomena where time moves backwards or something. That's all I remembered ish.
I can't remember, but they're stealing something from this holding.
Because I thought,
And in the holding places, they normally have art because you can't. You can basically buy and sell in this area because it doesn't. It's not under any jurisdiction of taxpayer.
Right.
So you can.
no, I remember there being
That's NFTs.
I remember being paintings there. I just don't know. I just don't remember that being like a massive part of the plot point. But
It was just like I brought it up because it was like the first time it had been addressed or like brought up in like prominent media.
Well,
these things exist.
Yeah, well, they've existed for like a very, very long time, and it's not just like fine arts, but like it's not just paintings. Any valuable thing, like
Half the stuff in the British Museum.
Yeah.
That's normally the place where they come from. You know, like the point is that I just think with the way that NFTs are structured right now, it's just this was obviously going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just been ripe with scams. Like half this shit is awful. Like there's some legitimate uses. The technology seems somewhat promising right now.
Yeah.
The fact that it uses more than like most countries, the entire like Bitcoin network uses more electricity than countries, is very concerning.
Yes.
And that there are more, they're making new coins, they're making new ways that are much more efficient and stuff. Yeah, we get it, but it's not there right now.
Yeah.
It's not doing that right now. It's not working right now in a way that works for the world.
Do you think it will ever work out?
Yeah, it definitely will at some point. Obviously, the idea of having a way that you can 100% own something digitally is going to be very convenient at some point.
Yes.
The way you said yes, was like, yeah.
yeah.
But right now, it just doesn't, the way that it's being used is like a joke.
No, I mean, like it's weird seeing how fast they just came from like basically nowhere to everyone talking about them. I mean, crypto.
Well, because it's been just so like it's just been shoved down everyone's throat.
Every
it was
celebrity's jumping on
literally
it.
it was literally last year where I had not heard of the word NFT till like May or April, and then I couldn't stop hearing it. I was like, I remember being like,
I mean, I only found out what it was like a couple
on
months ago.
the fucking podcast.
On the podcast, yeah.
I'm so envious of you, Joey.
Because I think I just I just avoided all that
Yeah.
shit. I don't follow anyone who is in
And now
that.
there's the Metaverse that's coming along, which is just like, what?
Well, have you seen that these companies are buying like space in like the Metaverse? They're buying like plots of land in the Metaverse.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
So they're
What do you
buying
think of that?
they're
What do you think
buying
of
digital land.
Yeah.
Dude, that's like
I mean, I feel like it is just.
that's some sci-fi territory.
I feel like the past year has opened up basically the age of like the digital gold rush.
Is this what it must have felt like to see like the .com bubble happen?
I think
I
so.
think so.
That's must have been what it felt like, where you see millions of fucking dollars being invested
It's
in
like the dumbest shit.
Yeah.
in like fucking kittens.com or something like. I don't fucking know.
And now kittens.com is worth millions.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if this is true, but you're in the Metaverse, right? They don't have legs. Have you seen that?
No.
They don't have. They only have like torsos.
So
not body.
this is very much similar with me with NFTs. I know nothing about the metaverse.
So do you know why? that
Sword
is?
Art Online by Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
true.
all I know.
Do you want to
Yeah.
take a guess why they only have torsos in this world?
Why?
Is it for people who perhaps are in wheelchairs and stuff like that, or
It's a very noble thought, Joe.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not.
maybe
it's-
inclusive
To
of
my
everyone?
understanding, can you fact check this, Ashley? But to my understanding, it was to stop people like doing like implying sexual acts and stuff and doing things. From what I understand, that is the reason why.
I mean, it is like I read somewhere that like foot fetishes are like I think the most common fetish in like the world.
what's it got to do with Facebook? Oh,
Well, no,
the legs.
because of the legs.
But it's like digital feet. It's like, those Master Chief. I was like, where are you going with this point?
Yeah, that was the weirdest tangent. Like Joey just wants to talk about foot fetishes.
No. I was trying to back up your point.
Like Mark Zuckerberg's scared of Quentin Tarantino getting in the metaverse or something.
I was trying to back up your point, and you guys made me out like I'm fucking weirdo, like who's into digital feet.
Joey's like, them Sims feet though.
Delicious.
Why didn't they just delete the feet then? If they're just have no one have
Stubs.
feet.
Everyone has stubs.
Everyone has stubs.
Everyone has
Everyone
What
just
is it
looks like
actually?
Kirby, you know,
What is
just stubs and knobs.
Apparently, it's a technical issue. Like the cameras can't capture the whole body.
Bullshit.
I don't think
Is
so,
there anything
man.
mentioned about sexual stuff?
I haven't found it.
Can you Google sexual Mark Zuckerberg metaverse no legs sex?
Fetish.
Fetish.
Mark
I
Zuckerberg
also-
metaverse foot fetish.
Also, you can. What? Sorry.
Turn off Sage search.
Yeah, it's on a station.
So apparently, as well, there's like you have like your own bubble. People can't come into your space.
Okay.
But to me, it's weird, right? Because I don't know if I'm just like stupid, but it just looks like really shit VR chat.
That's what I saw. And I was like, so is this like a game that Facebook is developing, or like
It just looks like
what
VR
is
chat,
it?
but just less fun. And
Like VR chat has really good games in it. Have you seen this?
No.
There's like games in VR chat, and it's nuts. I was playing Super Monkey Ball the other day.
Oh wow.
in VR chat,
In VR chat.
How were you not sick?
I don't know. I'm gonna say. And there was also like
I get sick playing regular Super
Also
Mario.
did like a Tron game where you throw discs and they bounce around. You gotta dodge it.
That's pretty
and try
cool.
to hit the other person.
that just seems like a VR game in a VR game.
Yeah, so it is. And there's a whole cooking game
Right.
in a VR game, and it's like free. It's like, why the fuck would anyone want to play?
How does VR chat work? I never, because I never played VR chat, but is it like kind of like an open source kind of thing where people can create
everyone,
their own games and their own
Exactly,
spaces and stuff
yeah.
like
So
that?
you
Oh,
can-
okay.
It's all user generated.
Okay.
And that's why it's so fucking good.
It's like
Yeah.
Minecraft.
Yeah, because you'll be in a lobby, and is it annoying that you get in a lobby and there's like 10-year-olds screaming? Yeah, that's annoying. And I think Mark Zuckerberg is trying to address that by making it like age only like, I don't know, over a certain age you're allowed to join.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure people
but
are gonna
VR
follow
chat is
that
still
rule.
really good. Like it's genuinely good.
So
Like, I
okay,
like
so going back to the whole like buying digital plots of land on Meta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Like how does that work? Like what
I don't
it's
fully-
more the question of why.
Well, if you
Advertising?
own digital land, it's
try and
like the
Google this.
metaverse is being marketed as this place that is kind of like just a new virtual reality world that everyone's going to go to, right?
Right.
So you can literally live like a second life, or even like, you know, your online media life in this virtual place that's called
Right.
the metaverse. So what are companies doing? They're
Oh,
literally buying plots of land in this virtual land for treating it like they're buying real land that exists in the real world,
Dude,
right?
this is just lane. This is legitimately
It
just
is-
lane.
it is
It's
like-
scary.
You want to hear like the most depressing thing ever?
Please.
Investors are paying millions for virtual land in the metaverse, and apparently, a company recently dropped $2.5 million on a patch of land in Decentraland, one of the most popular metaverse worlds, and the prices have gone up 400 to 500% in the past few months.
Wait, how much land are we talking? Like how many
don't even know.
digital square meters are we talking?
I don't fully understand it. Another person spent $4.3 million on a parcel of virtual land.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Is this what happens when you just have too much money?
Yes.
I think what's happening is that a lot of companies with a lot of money are like, let's just throw something into
Yeah.
it.
Right.
If it fails, doesn't matter. If it goes up tenfold, big money.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I think that's what's going on, and I think people in companies are hearing whispers of it, and I think I also imagine as well that Facebook is doing a really good job at convincing these companies
Oh yeah.
that this is going to be a big deal.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
When I feel like anyone who is in the tech space looks at metaverse and is like, I just don't see how this can become a thing that's like good.
yeah.
Because how the fuck are you going to convince everyone to get a virtual headset? Do you know how annoying they are to? I love my tech, and I got to admit, virtual reality headsets are a pain in the fucking ass.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it comes with the assumption that virtual reality headsets will be at one point more streamlined than they already are. Which they really, really need to be, because like the barrier of entry for a virtual headset is like
Oculus
fucking
has done great, obviously.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that is Facebook.
Yeah.
and that is probably the most user friendly headset.
yeah.
but it's still like it's not perfect.
It's
No,
not perfect.
no.
No,
It's
not
Like
at all.
you don't. You don't want to have a business I do not want to have a business meeting without a fucking headset on.
It's like, honey, where's my headset?
Kidding me?
Need to get
Because,
into a business
like, one
meeting.
of the main pictures of like the metaverse, like you could have a meeting with your coworkers. Have you had a virtual reality headset on for more than 2 hours?
No.
It is. I have. It's awful.
You get sweaty. It's like it's bulky.
The only
it's
reason
heavy.
why I haven't done a stream on my Oculus is because I can't wear that thing for more than 20 minutes without feeling
really?
sick.
That's
Which
also
it also depends on the game, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I remember hearing about these rumors that people get motion sickness from wearing headsets.
Yeah. Superstitions.
Superstitions. And I'm just
It's
like
bullshit. You're not sick.
and I'm just like, they must just be weak-minded. I ain't like that. And I remember like the first time I got like my Valve Index. One of the first games I bought was like Pavlov, I think.
Right.
It was like basically a virtual reality CS:GO.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember walking in that for like 10 seconds and I just got immediate fucking motion sickness. Like my brain searched through like the entire history of humanity to like see if there was any kind of experience that could like help regulate what I was going through. And it was just like, nope, I don't know what's going on right now. You're just gonna feel sick right now.
Yeah. Like the thing is, I get motion sickness even if it's like not a very like movement intensive game. Like I get sick after like 20 minutes of Beat Saber.
Yeah.
And like you're not even fucking moving in that game.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine on the motion sickness part.
Yeah.
I've only had one game that's given me motion sickness, or like not even motion, like make me feel like
Yeah.
It was like this ninja game, Santiro or something.
Yeah.
And like you jump around. It's pretty sick, but like you jump in the air really fucking high.
Yeah.
You can change direction in the air again in any direction.
Oh.
So you can imagine it's like jump up, fly back. And
I'm getting sick just hearing it.
But it's good. But the thing that I have difficulty with is these headsets are not light. They are uncomfortable to wear for a long
bulky,
period of time.
Yeah.
The Index, I love the Index. Amazing quality.
Great piece of hardware.
But it is heavy, and also the wires can suck my dick. I hate the wires.
Yeah.
That's what I like about the Oculus. There's no wires.
Yeah, like the thing is that I can't play a virtual, or I haven't been able to play a virtual reality game more than a few hours before either like my head gets tired or I just want to chill out and I just want to like, because like I start sweating a lot because you're wearing.
I sweat a lot as well.
Yeah. You start like. I mean, like you're basically wearing a sink on your head. You know,
you are.
That's basically what it is,
Pretty
right?
much, yeah.
That's like an entire bottle of this. like,
Yeah.
on your
Traps
head.
the
It's
heat.
just uncomfortable. It's not comfortable at all. And
No.
like, I don't know if this is just like boomer me talking, but I can't see it being a real substitute for just face-to-face interactions. To me, at least.
Never. No, it won't.
I mean, like, you know, again, like, in order for the metaverse thing to really pop off, it needs to be, like, VR headsets need to be common enough in every household as much as, like, say, a computer is today, right? And I just don't see it happening for a while.
The Oculus just isn't quite there. And it's also expensive. If you
It
bear in mind
is.
these headsets, I think the Oculus is $300
Something
retail.
like that,
Yeah.
And that's steep for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think, you know, if you look at the progress we've made in the past 10 years. When did the HTC Vive come out? That was the first big one, wasn't it? The first big deal.
Yeah.
When was that? When did the HTC Vive get released, Ashley? Can you have a look?
HTC what?
Vive.
HTC Vive.
I thought it was the Oculus Rift was the first like real big one. That's
Was
the
that
first one I heard
Was
about.
that like the one that was with Steam?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was
When did the
bef-
Oculus Rift then come
that
out?
was like the OG Oculus Rift. That was before
Facebook bought them. right?
bought them out.
Yeah.
HTC Vive was unveiled in March 2015.
Okay, what about the Oculus Rift?
Oculus
The
Rift.
original.
Yeah, the
Oculus
original
Rift.
Oculus Rift was the one with the roller coaster. simulator.
Yeah.
thought that the HTC Vive was the first time VR headsets became like somewhat viable.
Oh, like a thing.
Like to play games, like seriously.
Oculus was March 2016.
Oh, okay.
So the Vive came out before.
The Vive was I don't know. I could be totally wrong. I
Yeah.
don't. You could Google what the first VR headset is. I think it's fair to say, at least to my memory, at least, that I think the HTC Vive was the first headset that came out that like made gaming seem like it made sense.
Yeah.
Right.
It wasn't just a gimmick. It was like you could actually play games. Like
Yeah.
Superhot was amazing. Some of the demos are really good, and there were games coming out here and there that were pretty good as well.
Yeah.
I think we thought there was going to be a big boom, but there really hasn't been
It's just
that many games in the past 7 years.
It's just because the money isn't there right now because
Yeah.
it's so hard. There's so many barriers of entry for buying like a VR game. So like the only big game I can think of is Half-Life. That's the only like game where I look at this VR game and it like stands up as like a game. You know, it like a lot of games that I play on VR. It seems like a tech demo with it seems like a glorified tech demo, but like Half-Life actually feels like a game, and that's because Valve like invested in it, and I don't even I can't believe they made profit on it at all. Like because I feel like that was more of just them flexing to be like, guys, we still make games. Remember, we made games. We were fucking amazing game developer back in the day. We can still do it. We can still do it, baby.
We still got it, baby.
I played a lot of games on the VR, and Superhot is still probably the best.
Yeah,
one.
Superhot's still the best.
That's the game that I get when people come to my house and I'm like, you want to try VR?
Yeah.
Superhot is the game that I'm like, try this.
Yeah.
Because it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's Superhot and Beat Saber, which is the best VR experience I've probably had.
Yeah, same.
So far.
It's I understand because like setting up the Valve Index is like it's the best headset, right? If you want performance in gaming. But my God.
But like I think
the cables.
It is a fucking commitment to set that thing up. And you need a space big enough.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why it like in Japan it's like not popular at all.
No.
Yeah. I think my problem with VR gaming that I've had so far is that it turns gaming for me, gaming is like a passive activity, but VR gaming is definitely an active activity for me, where you feel physically involved. It doesn't feel passive
do like
to
that,
me.
though.
No, I do like that as well. But like when you have like a fucking 8-hour, 10-hour gaming session, I don't want to. That's like there's only so long I can have. I can do something active for that period of time. Like to me, a lot of games are a passive activity where you sit down on the couch or sit at your PC and you just like chill there. And you just
I think it also depends on like the demographic as well, right? Like because I'm sure like the average 10-year-old has a lot more fucking energy to move around for 8 to 10 hours.
Well, I
versus like someone who's in like their 40s.
When I played a Gorilla Tag.
Yeah. On
VR. It was just all like 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
It was all 10-year-olds.
Well, like, I think back to like when I was 10 and the fucking, you remember the iToy?
Oh my God.
The camera
on PS2.
on PS2.
Yeah.
Like when that shit came out and you had to like physically move
zombies?
around and shit, like that like as a 10-year-old, it's like fuck yeah, I could do this for hours. Yeah. If you got me an iToy now, I'd probably be like an hour and a half and I'm done.
Yeah, but that to me that was always like a gimmick, like that one time you go to like your cousin's house and they pull out the DDR mat and you're like, oh, okay, we're having a DDR night.
The virtual boy.
Like, yeah, right.
It's like the shit mat that like barely registers. Stuff like it's like
you got a fucking stamp on
like
that
foam,
map, and it will like
so
break
shit.
after like one use or something.
Yeah. It's a shame because I think that like VR gaming is some of the most fun and rewarding gaming out there when it's done right.
It is.
The problem is there's no incentive for people to develop games for it. Like it's hard,
Yeah.
and also it's like how when you're a kid and I don't know if you ever had them. I don't know what they're called in Australia, but in the UK the brand are called like Scale Electrics. It's like those cars that you have to lay out that track.
Yeah.
And then you have the
Hot Wheels.
Maybe Hot Wheels.
Kind of like Hot Wheels.
You lay out the track and then you have those things that like you turn the buttons and they go zoom around the fucking thing. What are they called and what's the generic name for them?
I think you're right.
Maybe Scale Electrics.
I
They're
don't
like
know.
on like the fucking scales.
I always thought Scale Electrics was a brand like Hot Wheels.
I think it is a
Yeah.
brand.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what the generic
I
name is.
only really play with Hot Wheels.
Well, what was
It's
your
like
point?
it's like that. That's what
Yeah.
VR feels like right now, and
Right.
it needs to get to the point where current gaming is, where it feels like just put on the headset, you're good to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right now, it's like I have to turn on the 2 base stations. I have to make sure all the cables are plugged in. Oh, I got to install this update. Oh, the tracking's off. I got to fix the tracking. It's like it's like going back to that feeling as a kid where you set up that track and you set it all up just for that like 30 minutes of enjoyment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got to put it all away again.
Yeah.
So like until it gets to the point where it doesn't feel like a slog to set up. It's
Yeah.
not that it's active. I think it's like a pain in the ass to set up. And
it is.
I've got mine set up now to the point where it's as painless as possible, and it's still a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like that 5 minutes of me turning everything on and doing it all is just a little bit annoying for my lazy gamer brain to want to do it.
Well, because
for
you're so
fun.
used to just the turn on immediately start.
Yeah,
kind of
right.
gameplay,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Right.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's called Scalextric. That's the brand of
Yeah.
hardware.
Yeah.
Is there a generic name for that kind of product, or
I think it was
Just motorized
That's like
cars.
Yeah.
just like you know how like because as a kid I think we had a really dodgy one, and it was just a whole event setting it up.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
It
yeah.
took so long. But it
Yeah,
was so
but like
fun.
I remember as a kid, you had way more patience,
Right,
like
exactly. That's
not
what I'm
even
saying,
as a
right?
kid, but as a teenager as
Right,
well,
right, right.
Yeah.
Like, I tell people about the fucking the fucking efforts I had to go through to even just fucking watch anime or
Right.
play some visual novels, and you had to like download like 7 million zip files, read tutorials about how to like install this game, and I think back to that now, and I'm just like, man, imagine trying to do that now. We can just press one button on Steam to like play a lot of these like Japanese underground games and all that.
Well, even like console games, right? Like you had to like go into the bin to look for the cartridge of the game, and then you had to fucking put it in. Oh, it's not working. Pull it out, blow on it a little bit, put it back in, turn it on, wait for it to load. Now you just fucking turn on your Switch and the downloaded game is right there.
Yeah. But
Easy.
like, I
mean, I buy all my games cartridge.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I give them to my like other people when I'm done with them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
But like a big thing that I've kind of like felt recently is that like I've kind of like thought, what is the direction that gaming is going to go, right? Because I've recently procured myself a PlayStation 5. I know.
Oh, really?
I know, guys. I know.
Oh, you're the lucky few.
Yeah, the lucky few. And the reason I did that was entirely because I was like, I don't need a PS5 yet. I don't need a PS5. And then Horizon Forbidden West came out, and Horizon Zero Dawn is like one of my favorite games of all time. So I'm like, all right, this kind of deserved the special treatment. I'll try and go out my way to get a PS5 in order to play this game.
Yeah.
And the game looks fucking amazing. It looks fucking fantastic, right?
Yeah.
But is it that different from playing it on a PS4? I wouldn't really say so. You know,
I feel like hyper realism in video games has almost reached a limit to the point where it's like we can't get any better graphics.
Games don't look that much different. Like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
They don't.
It's like we can't get any better than this.
Like I remember jumping from like I remember the first time I got my N64 and I played Super Mario 64 and like my mind fucking blew. It was like I was like running around in 3D after 2D Mario all this time. Like I could not comprehend how such an experience could be done.
12-year-old me was like, up is forward.
Right?
What? How does that work?
and now I'm just like, I think there are extra pixels that my eye is seeing right now.
Right.
I feel
unless
like,
you have like a 12K like TV, like you're not gonna see the difference, right? Yeah.
I feel like it's a bit smoother because there are slightly more frames, but it certainly isn't like the mind blown kind of experience that I felt before.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I feel like we've almost reached that limit when it comes to like amazing graphically how games can be, and that's why I feel like especially the indie scene for the past like 10 years has been more focused on making these more like stylized games, like pixel games and stuff like that. Like, you know what I want back? I want cell shading in games back. Can we have that back?
Has it ever left?
I think it's like it used to be in the forefront. I feel of like all the mainline games or like the mainstream games. In a way, it was.
I don't think so.
I think for like certain demographics, like like when like Wind Waker came out, for example, everyone fucking hated it at first until they played and they realized how amazing it was.
Yeah,
right?
I remember when Wind Waker came out, and there was so much discussions in like magazines to be like, this is a step down. From, like this is a graphical step down.
Because that's what the trend was, right? It was realism.
Yeah, realism. Yeah. And then when we started getting used to the cell shaded shit, like with Lollipop Chainsaw is like another game series that's like very cell shaded, very stylized, right?
Yeah.
People were also like, oh man, this game looks too fucking weird. Like it's not pretty enough. And then people immediately when they played the game, they found out, oh, you know what? This is pretty, but just on a different caliber of pretty.
Yeah, I mean, like I would say like Wind Waker has aged the best visually in terms of like I would argue like pretty much every Zelda game.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think it looks better than Pokemon Arceus.
The best thing is, exactly. And the best thing is those kinds of styles, a lot of the times are ageless.
Yeah.
Look at Cuphead.
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly.
Cuphead's
or like, like Wind
beautiful.
Waker looks just as good even in today's standards because it's so stylized. Whereas if you go back to like, Ocarina of Time, right? You're like, oh, not as pretty as my 12-year-old mind back then thought it was.
A fugly game.
Yeah,
it's not a pretty game.
So if you have the context, the setting and stuff, it makes sense.
Of course, people who say like, with all those N64 games who are like, no, it looks just as good today. Or obviously they're just operating off nostalgia.
Yeah.
Right. But like anyone can look at Mario 64 and go, fuck me, that's an ugly game.
Yeah. Yeah, it
I
just
actually think Mario 64 looks kind of good.
You think? Compared to like Ocarina?
Well, yeah, like if you look at something like GoldenEye looks awful.
Oh, that looks awful.
GoldenEye looks jank.
And and Ocarina of Time I think looks awful. I don't know, Mario 64, like I don't know why. I think it looks okay. I don't think it aged as bad as you might think.
I think
Yeah.
you should probably take like a closer look at
I
it.
have.
Because I was
Bowser
playing,
looks like shit. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
give you that. Bowser looks like shit.
dude, Peach in the opening scene. I'm just like, what is that?
That is true, actually. Because when I think of Mario 64, for some reason I go to Mario Sunshine.
Yeah.
Because that was like I guess
such a good game.
my childhood Mario
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I remember, and Mario Sunshine has aged a lot better visually
A
than
million
Mario
times.
64.
A million times
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like that generation of games, like like
PS1.
no, I wouldn't say PS1, because like I look back at like Metal Gear Solid 1, and I look back at like pixels talking to each other. Like Snake's face doesn't have detail.
It's like
just
one triangle.
It's just a triangle. And I remember thinking, how the fuck did I get invested in these cutscenes of just Snake going, Otacon? And it's just like a pixel going, you know. But like, I feel like the PS2 GameCube era was kind of when we started really getting to the point where I couldn't see that much of a big jump in graphical fidelity.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I did see a difference with PS3. PS3 to me is when it kind of like peaked, you know, where, you know, Last of Us originally came out on the PS3, right?
Yes.
And I was just like, to me, like the original Last of Us, like pretty much every game looks about the same as Last of Us. You know, even though I could tell they look graphically better, they're not that much graphically better that I think, my God, this is a fucking mind-blowing amount of improvement.
Yeah.
You know?
The Wii looks pretty bad though.
The Wii,
Yeah.
well, that's because the Wii had like very limited hardware.
Isn't the Wii
as well.
isn't it in 480p? The Wii?
Yeah, I think so.
It has a native resolution of 480p.
Yeah, and it's just
it looks-
upscale.
It looks rough when you go
Yeah.
back and play it. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, because I remember as a kid when Super Smash Brothers Brawl came out.
Yeah.
I remember I thought, dude, this is like the pinnacle.
I thought that with Twilight
I was like,
Princess.
this is insane.
Yeah.
And then I looked back like a year ago, and I was like, what the fuck? It looked like that the entire time. I think because I'm remembering the rendered cutscenes for that game.
Yeah.
And the cutscenes look amazing.
Yeah.
Because of course they fucking.
Yeah. But I think in the case with that generation of consoles like the Wii, I think it depends on the game as well. Because
Oh, yeah.
like Twilight Princess still looks great, even though that's a Wii game.
Does it?
I think it still looks great
I haven't looked. But
compared to Brawl.
I think every single footage I've seen of Twilight Princess of late has been the HD remaster.
The HD remaster. But if you look at it comparatively, like a lot of these like HD remasters, I don't really see the point of calling them HD remasters, because if you put them side by side, they're really, unless you're like a fucking, you know, pixel snob, like you're not going to see it. Like, you know, when Final Fantasy X remaster came out, right? Like the HD remaster.
Yeah.
I played it and I was like, how does this look any different to the PS2 version?
Oh, so did you see the GTA 3 remaster?
No.
Oh, it was a disaster.
Really?
It was like the game looked worse. Did you not see this?
No, I didn't see
It's
this.
like a massive controversy.
No, I didn't see this at all.
They like took off the original Grand Theft Auto and you couldn't buy it.
Right.
The original third one.
Yeah.
And they were like, you have to buy the remake. They reversed it a little bit. I can't remember exactly what they did.
Yeah.
But they released this remake and it looked worse than the original. It was like they just turned like the smoothness option on. Like everything had just been smooth.
Right.
So the people just looked even weirder in the cutscenes.
Ugh.
And like all of it looked. Have you not seen the?
No.
Okay, let me quickly grab a few images and show you. I'm going to just type in Grand Theft Auto GTA 3 remaster images comparison. Okay. Yeah. So like, look at this. This is the original, and this is the remastered.
Oh,
that's
Oh.
gross.
that's
Yeah.
just uncanny. You know?
There's also
Yeah.
like there's so many where it doesn't look like that much better.
Yeah.
It's like nearly
I'd
identical.
say the original has more character to it.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, a lot of the cutscenes, the characters just look worse.
Yeah.
It was really weird. I just don't understand.
But that's the thing with like HD remasters, right? Like when they did HD remaster of Wind Waker, I was like, this legitimately looks no different. It still looks just
I
as
think
good.
it does look a bit crisper.
You
but
think
that's
so?
It, though. I think
It's very minute though.
me Google.
I would say, right? Like you know, compared to like Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VII Remake, right? Like you know,
Yeah,
like,
exactly,
Like you know,
right?
that's
Yeah,
a big
that's
jump,
a
right?
big
Like,
jump.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
like
big jump.
It's the difference between a remake and a remaster. Though.
right,
True,
right.
It's true.
Well, yeah, they just kind of like. upped the contrast and smoothed it all out and made it probably just higher,
higher resolution. But like it's
Like,
so
it does look- it
it's
does
so
look a little better.
stylized
Yeah.
though that like in terms of like actual graphical updates or
Yeah.
upgrades, it's like it's not something to write home about.
Yeah, if you look at the images, it just looks like the edges are smoother.
Yeah.
Like RTX has been turned on.
But
Yeah.
you're not going to see that big of a difference when you're playing the game.
It wouldn't
right?
make a difference
No.
to your
No.
experience playing the game.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's talking about like the graphical differences as well. But in terms of like gameplay differences, I feel like the gaming industry as a whole has just like optimized pretty much like 90% of everything that can be optimized. And you know, every so often we get something like Breath of the Wild that completely changes the way you look at like an open world, for example.
Yeah.
And now every open world game has a glider for some reason,
Yep.
even if it doesn't need it. Like,
Yep.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. I feel like the technology is less so focused on making the things very high graphics or making the textures more advanced. It's like, I think right now a lot of the technology, from what I understand, is focused on like the lighting and stuff, right? So
Yeah.
making it so when you put a character in a world that you can add all of the effects naturally. So instead of having a beam of light and you programming like the light is here, it's like you program the room and then you have a bunch of options to like turn on the, I forgot what the name of the lighting thing is. It's like lighting where it uses like the calculations to like figure out what would happen if like a ball went in the way,
Yeah.
and the reflection stuff. I think that's where a lot of the advancements are being made, not so much in like the individual like assets makeup, because the models that we have of characters in games are very, very high quality.
Oh
they
yeah.
are. They are.
And
And
the
they have
only
been
thing-
for a while.
Yeah, the only thing that's left is making how the models interact with the world more realistic, if they want that, or you know, whatever they want to do. And so now it's about making the machines that can do these animations or do these things built in and do them smoother. From what I understand, I could be totally wrong. Someone might correct me.
But
in the comments.
that's what I want to know, right? It's like once we've perfected that hypothetically, what's the next step?
Well, that's why I do look to VR, because I do remember the first time I tried Beat Saber and the first time I tried Super Hot, I did get that same kind of feeling that I got playing Super Mario 64 for the first time, which is just like your brain has never experienced something like this before, and it's just fucking pure cocaine. It was like the first time I played Super Hot VR is like one of the funnest gaming experiences I've ever had.
Yeah.
Like period.
Absolutely.
But like that was an hour or so, or however long it took me to play Super Hot.
There's
you
no
know?
big games in VR right now.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
all
yeah.
really good, like 1 to 3 hour.
Where's the next Mario? Where's the Mario VR game, dude? I want a Mario VR game where I am Mario.
problem is that movement is limited. Right?
Movement,
Like,
yeah.
if you let like in
Mario Kart VR. Where's Mario Kart VR?
Yeah.
yeah, it could be. I think there are racing games in VR.
Well, they did it in Mario Land, so why can't they do it in an Oculus?
That was not very good though.
That wasn't very good, but you know what I mean, right? Like if we get like a Mario Kart VR,
I think right now the
Big
problem is
bucks.
like movement is really hard.
Yeah.
And when movement is realistic, it's not good. Because that's not what you want.
Right.
But also, if you add unrealistic movement to your character, it becomes really hard to make it feel real. Like that
Yeah.
game I mentioned where you jump around.
yeah.
You don't jump around. You just point the stick and press jump because you can't do that movement. There's
Yeah.
no. Like, I can't jump in my fucking room like a
Yeah.
ninja, right? I wish I could. You know how badass it'd be to
I
be jumping off the
I want to be on the
wall?
sidelines watching that.
I wish I could.
I will never get bored of like the random every like random clips like that sometimes get recommended on my YouTube of like grandmas trying VR for the first time and like them doing like the balance beam
Oh
game
my
or something and just like
God.
jumping head first into
Dude,
a
people
wall.
jumping and shit. Oh my God.
Like
Or
the guy jumping into his TV, right? That was my favorite.
I will never get bored of it. Or like the grandma who like, or I think it was the grandma or grandpa who did like the climbing one and they like slowly fell. And like they fell into like a table or something.
Did you see those? I know there's some places you can do it, and it's like an activity. They have the VR headsets that the cables go up to the roof,
Yeah.
and it's like a treadmill you're standing on.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like an omnidirectional.
Oh, yeah,
omnidirectional one,
yeah. And you can like have a gun, and then you can like run around.
There's,
yeah.
I know there's one place in Shinjuku I think you can do that.
Really?
Yeah.
With the treadmills?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I've
Haven't we
seen
done
that
that.
as
What
well.
the fuck?
Yeah.
I know there's a few in America.
Yeah.
It looks really cool. It looks really
It
like
looks really
Yeah,
dope.
I'd like
yeah.
to try that out.
Yeah.
like imagine it's one where it's like a trampoline that gives you like feedback based on like how much pressure you put on the trampoline or something, kind of thing.
Yeah, because like I've
It's
heard.
like you're on gravity and the trampoline gets stiffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if it's like less, you know, you're on like a swampland, it's like
Yeah.
swampy. That'd be
Yeah,
cool. I don't know how
'cause-
you do that though.
Because like I've heard like one technique that people use to combat motion sickness in VR games, right, is to literally
He's drinking vitamin C.
drink,
Wasabi on your eyes.
eating a fuck ton of oranges, eating a fuck ton of
Sorry.
pouring
Sorry.
some salt,
Sorry.
pouring some salt in their wound.
Directly
I
into your
I
eyes.
had to do it. I had to do it. I had to do it.
But also actually just like walking in the spot, you know, like just literally like just moving your legs to make it feel like you're walking, and it's just weird that just like that is enough
Rewires
to
your
trick
brain.
your brain into thinking, oh, okay, this is real walking now. I can understand this, right?
Oh,
I know.
I've never done that before. I should try
Yeah,
that.
I should try that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like it's VR right now is at the very new stages. I'm very interested to see how and like if gaming gets to a point where this kind of does become mainstream and we get some like actual AAA games with VR games. 'Cause yeah, right now it seems like a very overpriced piece of tech for a lot of tech demos.
Yeah.
It's a shame because I really like it. I really want it to evolve. But I don't think it's going to be where I think it would be really sick and mainstream for like another 10 years at least.
I'm just waiting, man. I want Sword Online.
Hey,
Sword Online. in real life.
40-year-old
honestly-
me, I'm gonna be jamming in VR when it's out, man.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be that dad that is like doing his PC stuff all the time, playing games. I'm gonna be that dad for
Yeah,
sure.
of course. We're gonna be the generation when we're retired. We're like, oh, finally, I can get started on the back catalog of games, right?
Yeah, aren't we getting close to the year that Sword Art Online was set now as well?
2025, I think.
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
I mean, it could be
2024.
done just like
I don't know how I remember
just
that.
like just hook a wire up to your like PC or something that like electrocutes you if you die in the game. Like,
It's like,
you
ow!
like you actually just it like gives you like a
Just like a shock
it
collar.
gives you like
Yeah,
it gives you a lethal voltage if you die in the game. Like we could probably do it now. We just
Yeah.
don't because we're scared of what we could create.
I'm sure there's some.
We're scared of advancements in technology.
2022, so this year.
Oh, this
Is it
year.
actually this
Sword
year?
Online is this year. Let's
Oh
go.
my god! I actually read. I think they're releasing someone's releasing an MMO, the first VR MMO.
Oh my
gonna
god,
be
it's
shit.
real. It's real.
It's real.
We can barely make good MMOs now.
I hope I get selected as a beta.
You are a beta, Jay.
But yeah, I hate to date the video, but I just want to talk about this one thing that I saw on Twitter this morning.
Right.
So old news by the time.
So probably old news by the time this comes out, but I just couldn't fucking believe it. Snoop Dogg has joined Faze Clan.
What?
I'm not even joking. He has joined Faze Clan as Faze Snoop.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Okay. I might be out of touch here,
What is a Faze Clan?
but like I know FaZe Clan, but I don't know FaZe Clan. What are FaZe Clan? Like
What is a Faze Clan?
what?
It's it was originally a YouTuber organization.
And now it's an esports organization, right?
Yeah, and then so they always had. It was back in the day when COD started. It was
Yeah,
always Faze
yeah,
and
yeah.
Optic.
Yeah.
And that's how it started.
I followed it then, but like they've seemed to like just gone out of that little bubble,
I
and
don't know what Faze is anymore.
I don't know either.
Are they just like a YouTuber house? Or
No, it's
YouTuber
like a
group,
brand, and if you're anointed into Faze,
Anointed.
you
or
get
Knighted into Faze.
you get
hereby pronounce-
you do genuinely get a lot of success just off the
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
of
a very
course.
powerful brand with younger audiences normally.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people our age watch Faze.
Are they
as much
still-
as 15, 16,
Yeah.
17.
Are they still an esports organization, or
Yeah,
are
so they do everything. It's kind of like a brand, you know. That's kind of what they're. That's
Is it like an agency?
yeah. So it's from what I understand, it's more of an agency,
Right.
But all of the esports brands are all kind of going that way right now because they realize that relying only on esports is not the best for business.
Yeah.
Because you can, if your team competes only 4 times, 6 times a year, that's you can only monetize the sponsors and those events.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're an entertainer, you can monetize every time they upload or do something
Yeah.
and take a cut. So
I mean, now it just seems like a lot of esports organizations are just streamer organizations, because that's
Pretty
what I
much.
feel with FaZe Clan now. I'm
Yeah.
just like, are they still the esports organization, or are they an entertainment?
I always thought it was like
Organizations.
I always
And
thought it was
esports.
like kind of like factioned off. Whereas like these we have a bunch of Faze Clan members who are like the esports players who don't go on Twitch or YouTube or anything.
Yeah.
And then we have the YouTubers, and then we have the Twitch streamers, and then
Well,
everything
a lot of the time as well, they want to get the best players in a game or a genre, because normally the best players at any game, if they stream, they will have an audience.
Yeah.
Not necessarily always, but they have a lot better chance of getting an audience.
Right.
You know, and you can kind of help them and coach them through it.
Well, they're definitely going to get a bigger audience now that Snoop Dogg has joined.
I don't know. For some reason, when I heard that, I'm just like, that doesn't sound surprising to me. I don't know why. I'm just like...
Snoop does some interesting business
Snoop
decisions.
does a lot of...
I'm sure the deal is very good for Snoop.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure
100%.
it's an extremely good deal for
I'm
Snoop.
sure he needs the money.
Well, to me, it has the same energy of. Do you remember like back when when E3 happened and you'd see like these press conferences, and then like at every like E3 presentation they'd have this like one random celebrity come on to promote their game.
Check this out.
Like I don't know, like fucking Drake promoting Madden or something like that. You know what I mean? You know? That it has the same energy as that for me.
It does, yeah.
Where you just get like this random celebrity to promote your brand or to promote your game, and it wouldn't make any sense, but it makes it makes sense because it's such meme worthy that people are going to talk about it anyway.
Oh yeah, of course.
And Snoop Dogg has done plenty of shit.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's so amazingly in touch with like internet audiences and just meme culture that like it's just like a win for him. It's just, I don't know, there's just something weird about. There's something weird about it.
He's always
we have to call him Faze Snoop now.
He's always posting on Instagram and stuff and all that. Remember he like doxed his Uber driver or something.
What?
He like doxed his like delivery or DoorDash person because they didn't like deliver the food.
Right.
He like showed a picture in their first name to all of his followers.
Oh my god!
Because he was showing the interaction. He was angry that I think Snoop Dogg was upset that they didn't deliver the food, and I think Snoop was trying to tell him where to go to deliver it. Because obviously Snoop lives in like a gated community.
Right.
So it's probably a bit harder to give it to him.
Yeah.
And he was like complaining on his Twitter and showed the face and name of the person, and this guy got like a lot of hate, I think.
Jesus.
Poor guy.
Yeah, but
I don't know. It's just for me, it's like really fascinating just watching these like very traditionalist celebrities and like music artists and whatnot like kind of really dig their heels into things like Twitch and YouTube and stuff like that. Like when I found out like T-Pain regularly streams on Twitch and he has like a pretty fucking massive audience.
T-Pain streams on Twitch?
Yeah, T-Pain is massive on Twitch, dude. Like he's been streaming constantly.
Right.
Like everyone wonders, oh, what happened to T-Pain? He's on Twitch now. He's just streaming on Twitch. Like Deadmau5 as well. He's just streaming on Twitch.
Yeah, I know Deadmau5 streams on Twitch.
And it's just, I don't know. It's really bizarre that like, at least I find it very bizarre to see these like people you'd only ever see. Yeah, the people you'd only ever see on like TV shows and like music videos and stuff like that. Just suddenly being like,
look at,
I just dropped a $5 donation to T-Pain the other day on Twitch. It's just weird to say out loud. I don't know.
T-Pain he's streamed 1,500 hours.
He's got the analytics up.
I'm looking at
real streamer boy here.
Yeah.
He's active normally 1 day a week.
1 day, okay.
And normally he streams for quite a while, I think.
I'm sure he's busy doing other things.
I'm sure he streams more than me.
Right.
Yeah. He streams more than Garnt.
Yeah, he streams more than me. I'll tell you that.
Oh wow, yeah, he's quite active.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I just randomly, because I remember I was just like going through Twitch one day and, like the channels you should watch thing, came up. And on the top of it, it just said T-Pain. I was like, that can't be the same T-Pain, right?
He's the guy who wrote Through the Fire and Flames. The
guitarist for Dragon Force,
I think he streams on
the
Twitch.
Guitarist and the drummer actually stream really regularly.
I remember they wanted to perform their song, but they couldn't for copyright reasons.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds like the age of the internet.
Yeah,
right.
His copyright laws are broken.
Yeah. No, like I remember like when
they'll get DMCA'd.
They would.
Yeah.
When like Gordon Ramsay replied to XQC or something about the cooking thing, that was so surreal.
What a weird interaction.
I don't think that's Gordon. I'm pretty sure that's just someone managing his account. But I think Gordon has very good people in charge of his account.
I don't know, because Gordon's pretty active on like TikTok, right? He's pretty active on like social media platforms.
I have to doubt that he's keeping up with it.
Yeah.
I think Gordon has a very good team of Zoomers
like
teaching him and telling him what to do. Because like in one of his videos, he just kept talking about Uncle Roger. And I was like, you obviously have someone who's like keeping you in touch and telling you.
Obviously, we've talked about how whoever they've hired for like the Kitchen Nightmares titles on YouTube, right?
Top 10 times the food was bussing. Kitchen Nightmares. And, like that was like an actual YouTube title. Like, what is happening?
And it worked. It worked. It got so many fucking views,
Yeah,
even though
I
it's
bet.
like a fucking decade-old show now or something. I
I'm
don't know.
telling
How
you,
old
the
that show
people
is.
running his
Most
accounts,
cursed title.
Yeah.
people running his accounts are like on top of their shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know how much the Kitchen Nightmares YouTube account makes, because I've noticed as well the YouTube Kitchen Nightmares account literally just reposts the same clips with different titles and different montages all the time.
Really?
They'll be like, top 10 times the burger was good, and then next one will be like, top 10 times the food was good, and they'll just reuse the same clips.
Yeah.
So they just keep making different lists and then reusing the same clips because it's finite. There's only they don't have more than what they have now.
Yeah.
It's
But
genius,
somehow
though.
they've been daily uploading and keep uploading stuff.
It's genius though, because whenever I don't know about you guys, but whenever a Kitchen Nightmares
I watch it.
clip shows up on my timeline, I always got time. Even if I've seen this clip like 10 million times before.
It's like, all right, how
Let me look,
busted
let me
is
look.
it actually? I gotta find out.
Kitchen Nightmares.
Top 10 times. The
Nightmares.
food was busted. Oh my god.
And I think another one was like when the food wasn't bussin'. Top 10 times the food wasn't bussin'.
Okay.
Right?
Kitchen Nightmares
fucking
gets, on average, fluctuates from anywhere between 30 to 70 million views a month.
Holy shit.
Right? That's probably in the range of like, it could be anywhere from like 100 to 200 grand a month.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
knowing how well food channels do, especially.
It's probably
It's
200,000,
probably
200,000
on the higher
plus
end,
dollars a month.
yeah.
Which makes me wonder, why don't more reality TV shows post as many fucking clips as they possibly can?
Probably because a lot of the production team are out of touch, or maybe some copyright issues.
Probably a mixture of things. Also, probably a lack of faith that they'll do well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
because-
Kitchen Nightmares brand is still very strong.
Yeah.
Like what show were you thinking of specifically?
Like pretty much any reality TV show.
Big
I feel
Brother?
like Big Brother, like 90 Day Fiance,
Yeah.
you know, like any basically anything made by TLC,
Mm.
like fucking The Bachelor, like shit like that. Like I feel like reality TV especially reality TV was meant to be watched in a group.
Well, TLC uploads clips all the time. That's
Yeah.
why they do so well, because they upload all the clippable moments.
well,
to
that's
YouTube.
that's how
Yeah.
90 Day Fiance got big to begin with, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
because the clips went viral.
I wonder if it would do even better on like if they not only uploaded whole episodes, but like uploaded whole episodes, uploaded clips, uploaded like fucking montages, like with the Kitchen Nightmare things, because it feels like this kind of content is just infinitely recyclable, because it's content that you're gonna fucking watch whenever you have like a lunch and you need to sit
Yeah.
down and you're like, what clip do I want to watch? Maybe I'll just watch Kitchen Nightmares. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll just watch 90 Day Fiance. Again, the same fucking Big Ed clip or whatever, you know? It's
You never get tired of the big clips.
you'll just never get tired of that,
Another
right?
clip of somebody who's over like 600 pounds.
Yeah,
dealing with it.
or someone with like a gross, obsession, or
Yeah.
coffee
Yeah.
animal.
I like smelling buttholes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Was it like, what was that show? Like My Weird
My
Obsession?
My
Weird-
Strange Addiction.
My Strange Addiction,
That's
yeah.
it, yeah.
The one about the coffee enema gets me every time. I'm just like, there's no way someone actually does that, and they do. I'm like, gross.
The one thing that makes me cringe the most for some reason is it was this one British woman who eats concrete or eats
Oh
bricks.
yeah.
And it wasn't the fact that she...
Well, it's just better than British food.
that is a British delicacy, right?
Developing a strong jawline with that one.
Somebody told me, they were like, why do Legos have do not eat warnings and British food doesn't?
Valid argument.
That's true. No, it was just like the noise that it made when she was crunching. She was crunching
God.
the brick.
Did
I
she
can hear
have-
it. I can hear
Did
it.
she have
Yeah.
any teeth left?
Probably filing them down slowly.
Yeah, honestly.
Like, you know that feeling where you accidentally get sand in your mouth and it's just like, I don't know, it's just the worst
Like
feeling.
Anakin Skywalker. This is why I committed his atrocities. That feeling alone.
That feeling, I understand Anakin for that one moment where you accidentally get sand in your mouth and you just spend the next 5 minutes just like, oh, there's just a weird crunch in it.
Yeah.
I can't get rid of it.
I think maybe the reason why like a lot of like, shows like that, reality TV shows, don't post clips and full episodes, I think is because a lot of their like, I don't know, this is just speculation, but I'm guessing a lot of like the producers and the production team and the people behind the actual show still have some level of faith that people still watch TV like they used to back in the
Yeah.
day. And so they're like, well, I mean, we're still getting numbers, maybe not as big as, back in the aughts, but, you know,
Yeah.
people still watching TV.
I also imagine that maybe if you're producing a lot of shows, I imagine there has been a lot of shows that are just lost because they didn't archive them properly, or they didn't.
Yeah.
They,
Yeah,
they don't
true.
have the files, or they have them. They just don't know what which one's which. And
Yeah.
I imagine there's a lot of that going on. Probably copyright, like maybe the production team made it and then sold it to a network, and maybe the network doesn't have the rights and the production team doesn't. Maybe they also don't have the rights.
And I'm sure they didn't build those contracts, with the clause of like, if these go on YouTube, then we hold all the rights.
I'm sure they do now. A lot of networks probably do it, but I don't.
Yeah, but like a show from the 2000s, probably not.
Yeah. Like I notice right now, especially like whenever I go on my Netflix, holy fuck, they make a lot of reality TV shows. Like with like every single genre, right?
It does well.
I remember when Netflix
It's like
was
pick an occupation. There's probably a reality show around that.
The glass blowing one. You watched that one?
No. There's a glass blowing one.
There's a glass blowing like.
Of course there is.
Like competition. I watched like the full series. I don't know why.
Did they have like the reality TV like interviews?
It was like MasterChef with glass blowing.
Oh my god!
Right.
And they had like the archetypes of the glass blowing judges. They were like like the Gordon Ramsay, the nice one, the mean one.
I can't believe he just said that about my vase.
Is it like exactly the same format and everything like that?
Yeah, but like you have now 30 minutes to make your glass. It is literally like MasterChef, but replaced with glass blowing.
Oh my god!
It wasn't that bad.
Is it called Blown Away?
Yeah, blown away.
Blown away.
Blown away.
How many seasons has it got now?
It's got, hold on, let me see.
Probably
Season 2.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, I remember when like Netflix was like just shitting out like 5 documentaries a day, and now they're like shitting out 5 different reality TV shows a day.
Glass blowing got a season 2 and No Game No Life didn't. Like, what the fuck's wrong with this
I'm
world?
surprised that like every single death in the US hasn't had a docu-series at this rate. Like, everything has been covered at this point.
Yeah, honestly.
I just don't. It's crazy. Like I watched one the other day about like some grandma who was killing people in her house, and I was like, how are they finding this stuff? Who's finding this? This is insane.
Why was this not televised earlier? Like,
I feel like I should know about this. A grandma killing people. This feels like a TV show plot.
Yeah.
If this happens on TV, it would be like unrealistic.
Obviously, you don't watch enough true crime documentaries or true crime podcasts or channels.
Well, it's
right?
because
the true crime podcast, like been there, done
Yeah,
that.
been there, done that.
Because I feel like there's this
Basic.
the obsession. Sometimes you're watching true crime, you're like, and then you just get this moment of like your consciousness going, don't you think it's weird that you're watching stories about people being murdered and that we're just shoving cameras in their face and interrogating people to tell us how they felt 20 years ago when their family member died? Like, do you not get that when you watch it?
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like I get these moments. I'll watch a full series. I won't get it. Every now and then I'll just watch a series, and it's always with the family interviews where it kind of makes me think, why are they just making these family members just like fucking talk about this shit and cry on camera? They're like, I loved him and stuff, and it's like, it's genuine, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like these poor people who like didn't ever want to talk about this again have just been shoved with it, because they probably someone was like, here's 10 grand, talk about your dead cousin, and how they were close to you, and how it was suspicious that one guy who never got caught was suspicious.
And that brutal murder that you saw in front of your eyes. Recall that word for word. Yeah.
And it's just the same formula as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like we've turned it into a sort of
glorification.
We've glorified murder and stuff, and
that's scary, isn't it?
I feel like because Sydney, I've talked about this before, but Sydney listens to a lot of like true crime videos, true crime podcasts. Whenever like she's doing her makeup and stuff like that, every
time he discombobulated him,
her arms were cut off. Her legs were cut off.
Every so often, I'd be like, and then David trapped Sally in her basement for 2 weeks and brutally her before her and her. But before I get to the next point, I'd like to bring up my sponsor for today's video, NordVPN. And I'm just like, bruh, what is this right now?
I get it, like, like the Nexpo. And
you don't want to end up like Sally, right? You should get NordVPN.
I don't know if these guys, like, I don't even know if Nexpo or like, I know Rainbow has sponsors and stuff. Like, it's totally, I understand. Like, I get it, but you have to admit, like you said, it is a little jarring.
It's so jarring when I just hear about this like
I
story.
love the channels, by the way. I love your guys' videos.
Brilliant
Please
channels.
keep going.
But there's right and wrong places to put it.
I don't know. It's so weird. I don't think there's ever like a.
Unfortunately, the topic I think just doesn't lend well.
Yeah, it just doesn't lend well. But like, there's been weird transitions. I mean, we've done very many weird transitions in our careers with like just transitioning to a sponsor that we've had for this video.
We had the Berserk thing one time, right? We were talking about the passing of
Mira.
Oh, yeah.
And because of the way that we recorded it, there was an ad break that was put right in the middle of us talking about
Not our finest work.
Not our
yeah.
finest.
That was 'cause of how we should
Unplanned
record it,
and
yeah.
something that we looked over.
Yeah.
But it's not any like true crime YouTubers. I don't think there is a right way to transition from some of the stuff they talk about to an advertisement.
Yeah.
And every time I hear it, it's just like it just takes me out for a second.
It's just like I don't know, in a way, it's totally fine, and I don't think it's like bad. I'm not condemning it.
No, I'm not condemning it.
I like the content, but like you have to admit, sometimes you're watching it and you're like, it is strange how we've turned this into like. It's like the common day watch mojo.
Yeah.
Like we've turned murders into what we like top 10s used to fill. Like whereas top 10 used to fill that I'll just put anything on kind of thing.
Yeah.
We've just like murder and horrible acts, just
Yeah.
let it fill the void somehow. Like there's a channels.
I'm surprised Watch Mojo hasn't gone into that yet.
There's
Like
chan-
top 10 like
I think
girls who've
I-
been trapped in dungeons.
There's probably is some.
There probably
I know
is,
that there's
yeah.
people who do their makkeupand talk about true crime. That's a common. That's
I've
a
seen
big
that
one.
a lot. Yeah.
Which is also a strange evolution, but impressive.
It's like, get ready with me while I talk about this
It's
horrible
pretty cool.
murder.
It's
a
like
cool
the next
evolution.
level. It's like next level mukbang, right? But they're doing makeup and they're talking about true crime.
I want to see a mukbang where they talk about true crime as they're like just demolishing a pile of
I bet you're saying this. I bet it already exists.
It probably
Don't
exists.
give Nikocado Avocado any more ideas, man. Don't.
Bro, come on. Nick Ocado is publishing a live true crime. Whatever he's doing to his
Yeah.
body is true fucking crime.
That's a true crime
That's
documentary waiting to
fucking
happen.
true. That's true crime. What he's doing is his digestive system. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, again, like I watch a lot of it. I consume a lot of it. But I do just get those moments where I'm like,
Yeah, the reality hits, right? Yeah.
yeah.
It is weird.
Yeah.
Especially where, like, I thought about it the other day and I'm like, I don't know anyone in my immediate circle or relatives or anything where somebody has had like something really horrible happen to them or a murder. I don't know. Do you know anyone? Like a cousin who knows someone who's been murdered or something like that?
No.
Not when
Right.
it comes to murder.
Yeah.
And like this true crime stuff almost kind of like normalizes it in your mind. I feel like that this is a normal thing that happens.
I don't
when in
think
actual
it-
fact it isn't normal at all.
I
No.
don't think it normalizes it. It just desensitizes you to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it makes you think that it is a normal thing that happens.
Really? I've never heard of I've never listened to true crime and thought it was a normal thing that happened.
But like you watch it, and these are real people. Like these
Yeah,
are,
yeah.
These people, these
Yeah.
interviews. This could be your cousin. This could be your mum. Like this
I
is-
think it's the gravity at which they address that particular topic, where it's like they say like, oh yeah, so Tim got murdered, like in the same tone as like, yeah, so I met up with Bob the other day, you know.
Yeah, it's like I think the gravity of the situation is often lost.
Yeah,
In the content.
because there's so much content like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the content is king, and
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I want to sit there and feel traumatized every single time I watch something about true crime. I just think it's kind of interesting and worth talking about the fact that we don't consume it and we don't empathize necessarily always.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, it
situation.
is entertainment in a sense, right?
Right.
It is entertainment. We don't watch it to really, how can I say this? Really, we don't watch it to not sympathize, but we don't watch it.
People don't watch these kinds of documentaries and cry at the end of it.
Right.
Is what, you know, like they're not like, oh my god, I feel so sad for these like families
But
and start
what-
shedding.
We
a
watch it
tear.
out of morbid curiosity, is what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Like there's a sense of morbidness to it where we want to know the gross, the
How
gross
far does
details.
morbid curiosity go, though? That's the question.
That's the question.
Well, that's
the
when you
question.
start getting into the weird shit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And that's the part where it's like, oh, okay, that
Yeah.
you know, to the point where it's like, oh, you liking true crime documentaries is nothing compared to like some of the
I
weirdest
don't know.
stuff you're into.
But sometimes I wonder, I think I'm consuming this content wrong because I've watched some things where it'll be like a documentary and it'll be like, oh yeah, like a kid got like beat up by his parents and no one helped him and then the kid died and it's like I have to like stop for the day.
Yeah.
I'm like I have to like take a
Yeah.
I have to like just step back and be like, fuck,
Yeah.
I can't do anything. But then people will watch like tons of these and I'm like, I'm wondering like what are they experiencing that's different from me?
Yeah.
Like that makes it so that I walk away from this just feeling drained and exhausted.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, next one.
Yeah.
Like,
one thing I found really...
I just want to know. Like, 'cause I'm
yeah, one
curious.
thing I found really interesting is that Japan doesn't have any programming like that.
No, they don't. They
No.
don't. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
And I think it's because
It's like taboo.
Yeah, it is. It is taboo to like bring it back up and talk about it, and especially like I can't imagine a fucking TV program being like knock knock knock. Hey, your son got murdered 10 years ago. Can
Tell
you
us
talk
about
about
it.
it?
Tell us
Like
about it.
like
Yeah.
they want to respect the families, right?
Yeah.
And it's like not saying that all of these like true crime documentary makers have no respect on the families or whatever, but it is scarily like. It is scary.
It feels invasive at times.
It does feel invasive.
It
and
feels
it's scary,
very
and
intimate.
and it's scary that no one who watches that kind of programming second guesses
Yeah.
that invasiveness.
But also, I understand maybe if your family was murdered, I can also understand the opposite, where being able to talk about it and express your
Maybe
frustration,
gets it off your chest.
sad,
Yeah.
can help you get like grief and help you
Right.
kind of get the story out there, and you feel like I've told my case, I've told people what it is,
And I'm sure
I get both sides. I do.
and I'm sure the ones who think that if I just talk about it on camera and get it off my chest and let people hear it would make me feel better
that's-
are the ones that
yeah.
turn into documentaries.
That's why I kind of get worried with these. Sorry, I've interrupted you like 3 times in a row now. Garnt. The final time,
Wow.
I promise.
Unprofessional.
I
I
know,
can't
I'm
remember what I
terrible.
said like most of the time. I had like a point and it's gone, and I'm like, oh, but I've not a point. Oh, it's
People are
gone
going to
now.
be like, Connor, let Garnt fucking speak! That's another thing addressed in, I think, a few of them here and there is like, this is where I start to get a bit weirded out with true crime, is when there's the true crime investigators online that go around and then start, pushing buttons and sending emails and asking people questions who don't want to talk about it. And
Yeah.
it's like, I think people
Literally
have a right.
keyboard warriors, keyboard investigators.
Amateur
Detectives.
detectives.
Like,
Yeah,
what was
yeah.
that? Oh, fuck. What was that one where that guy? Oh, shit. Which one was it? There was this guy and he was like the head detective for the online. And do you know what? Have you watched this?
No.
With Sydney's probably definitely fucking watched it. I gotta ask
Is
Sydney.
it Don't Fuck with Cats?
No,
that was the only one I know well.
Yeah.
Like,
That
there's
that was
a big-
actually a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's been another one where a guy.
Or it's just like a 4chan user or something.
I don't feel confident saying about it. I need to go and check which
Yeah.
one it was on Netflix. But there's one where this guy was basically like in charge because the police weren't helping that much. But the police have to go through systems, and
Right.
they
Yeah.
don't always do the best job.
Yeah.
Obviously,
They have to go
Yeah.
through the procedures.
but this guy kind of steamrolled in and was like, "I'll help you, family. I'll be the detective." And it was kind of weird watching this documentary and watching
what was
this
the family
guy.
like? They were like, oh, yes.
They
please.
liked it because they were in a vulnerable spot. This guy was selling them the thing that I can help. And
That's
Yeah.
not cool.
But I think the guy genuinely believed he could help. I don't think it was
Yeah.
a scam or anything because there was no money involved. He was like, "I will help you," but it just felt kind of weird.
Okay, I was about to say if
No,
he
no,
was
no.
like, I'll help you solve the case.
No.
Give me
He
some
was
money.
like an internet guy who's just really into true crime, and he was going about being like, "I will solve this. I'll help you do it."
Oh, okay.
Fuck, I need to figure out what this is. I have such a vivid image of this guy.
I don't know.
The
Do you
family.
think that's morally correct to do, or
It might have been.
I don't know. It really depends on the situation because was this guy deluded or did this guy actually help out? I don't know.
Yeah.
What grounds? I guess what from what Connor has described, what grounds did he have to come to a family and was like, I can solve this crime for
did
you?
he want the clout? Like, so the next time he's on a true crime podcast,
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah,
so
yeah.
You might have heard of this case.
that's
That was me.
It's from Tiger King 2.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
There was this
okay.
guy who was like, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely certain that Carol Baskin killed it.
Yeah.
I'll help the family and stuff." It was just weird. It was just like this guy's clearly just inserting himself
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the situation.
He just wants to be part of the
And it
storyline.
was
Yeah.
just like it was just
Yeah.
like I
I don't know. Just leave it up to the professionals.
Yeah, like to me, I think I get too invested in true crime stories, which is why I've never fully been into true crime because I would hear some of the stuff that Sydney listens to or something, and sometimes they actually play the 911 call that is made about this crime, and I hear this shit and I'm just fresh out of the shower ready for my day or something, and I got like a kid fucking crying on the phone telling the police that her mother's been murdered or something. I'm like,
And then you immediately feel dirty, right?
I'm just like, Sydney, I want to cry now. can we not listen to
Meanwhile,
this?
she's just like,
Like we're not trying to imply that if you do consume this stuff, you've no,
No,
empathy.
no.
or
no, of course.
No,
not.
this is just I get too invested in
Yeah,
I'm
this
just
kind of
wondering
thing.
why. Why is it different?
But
It's, it's interesting.
but how far have you guys gotten with your morbid curiosities, right? Because the internet is a wonderful but sometimes a terrifying place where you can see anything you want to see,
Yes.
right? And I know a lot of people and a lot of kids went through a phase where they stumbled upon like the darker side of the internet, right?
Right, like, because I'm not even going to pretend to sugarcoat the fact that, like, yeah, at one point when I was in high school, someone was like, do you know of this thing called Tor? And I was like, no, what's that? And so I downloaded it and I was like, oh, it's a gateway to the dark web. And, I spent one afternoon on Tor, going through the dark web just to see how fucked up it was. And can confirm, there's some fucked up shit on there.
Yeah, because like for me, I
didn't do anything, mind
No.
you. I didn't do anything.
Joey incriminates himself on trash.
I didn't do anything. I saw a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have seen, right?
Yeah, like even to me, like my baseline, I could not go on like if I see a live leak thing, I'm clicking off that video.
No.
I just like I've never had that kind of part of myself where I was morbidly curious enough to see something that I probably would regret seeing.
I can live the rest of my life not seeing this.
I've seen the worst things on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
There's some fucked up shit on Twitter.
The most fucked up videos I've ever seen have been on Twitter.
Really?
Actually, that's true. Some really fucked up things, and I thought you were just like being facetious there. I thought you were just like, this tweet I saw the other day.
Like friends had like people who I followed and I knew, they like retweet and be like, oh, this is horrible. There's a video of like some people getting shot and stuff.
I've seen that.
Fuck, why are you sharing this?
I've actually seen that as well.
I thought you were being facetious too, being like, I saw this tweet the other day that said that Demon Slayer is better than Jujutsu Kaisen. Oh my god,
that's true.
Horrendous.
That too.
I actually thought you were taking the piss.
No, I'm joking.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know what you mean now.
The pre-2010 era of the internet where everyone loved sharing fucked up shit.
Yeah, of course.
And
where Reddit 50/50 was
I
the
definitely
game, right?
saw the most haunting stuff being shared on Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter is very slow to get rid of this stuff.
Yeah,
And
it
it's
is.
nearly as good as other platforms are getting rid of it. And all the fucked up shit there, man.
Some of it's still burned into my mind.
I've never been on the dark web. I don't really have an interest. I don't.
Weirdly
really
enough, like the stuff I saw on the dark web, just based on like what you see as an image or whatever, is not as fucked up as some of the stuff you'd see on like Reddit
Is
or
it like
Twitter.
the second page of Google? Like, I'm kidding.
No one talks about
kidding,
that.
I'm kidding.
No, it's just like I think the thing that's like fucked up about the dark web, from my experience on going on it, is just like there's conceptually a lot of fucked up things.
Yeah.
Like when you read into it, it's like,
But it's just people buying drugs.
that's
That's like 90% of it.
that's like the
people
tip.
selling
That's the
NFTs,
tip of
right?
the iceberg.
Yeah.
There's other, but like there's like a lot of other stuff you'd look into, and it's like where it's like, okay, I probably didn't want to know that was an operation that is currently functioning right now. It's somewhere out there in the world. Levels of fucked up. Whereas like you go live leak in Twitter, it's like you're immediately exposed to something that's like, I shouldn't have seen. Like I didn't want to see a guy's head explode on live leak, but I just did.
Yeah. Well, it's just like there's one of the few times that a video like that or a picture has like gone through the cracks. It's just like it's never not been haunting for me. In like every way, shape, or form. Like I remember every fucking fucked up thing I see because I see it once and I'm just like, that is now like fucking ingrained in my mind. And there'll be a point where I'm in the shower, I have like a fucking flashback to that video. I'm like, my day is just infinitely worse. And I'm just like, but there's a part of me there where like, I know this is reality and I know like the internet is filtered. So it is more friendly, but like there's a part of me where I'm just like, I don't want to be desensitized to this thing. Because I've met some people who are just like, you think that's baby shit? I've seen the real shit. I've seen the fucked up shit. I've seen the snuff films.
Why?
And I'm just like, well, to me, like, I like being sensitive to this stuff, right? Because this shit
it grounds me.
Yeah, this shit grounds you, and like the true crime stuff as well. To me at least, like to me, I don't want to be too desensitized to the true crime stuff in case this happens in my real life, and I know someone that it happens to.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to be desensitized to that in my mind.
So let's be real. Like, if some person comes up to you and says like, "Oh, wow, that's some pussy shit. I've seen the more fucked up stuff." I'm like, that's not a brag. Like, why do you think you're cool? Because
That's
you've
like
seen like a bunch of live leak videos and you're not fazed by it.
That's like I want to leave.
That doesn't make that's not going to make me be like, oh my god, what an absolute fucking mega chad this guy is for like sitting through a bunch of live leak playlists. It's like, no, that just makes me not want to be near you because you're fucking weird.
Isn't Live Leak shut down now?
Yes,
Has it?
I believe it has.
Really?
Yeah.
Since when?
Don't know. What a good thing.
Damn, missed out. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
So much good content
Awful.
lost forever. Yeah, no, it's horrible. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like, because there was, especially during like the peak of like Reddit 50/50, right?
Yeah.
And like the mid 2010s. Remember when that was the
Do you want
craze?
to explain what Reddit 50/50 was?
I kind of don't want to because I don't want people going onto it.
Is this still a thing?
I don't know.
Pretty sure it's still.
I think it's still a thing.
God.
But Reddit 50/50 is basically, it's this subreddit where people post this like link where it's like you have a 50/50 chance when you click the link of it's a really nice thing or it's a really bad thing. And when I say nice and bad, I mean like really nice and like the worst NSFL shit you will ever see, like straight from Live Leak. So there's, an example would be like Reddit 50/50, 5 cute puppies or 5 decapitated heads. And you won't know which one it is until you click the link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the 2010s, that was a game people, like kids used to play, Like I remember some of my fucking high school friends were like, in a Skype call back in the day was like, you want to do a little bit of Reddit 50/50? As if they're inviting me to like a Minecraft server, It's like, yeah, it's just casual gaming,
Gosh.
And, poor naive me, the first time around, I was like, no, what's Reddit 50/50? Biggest mistake of my life. I did that for 5 minutes.
Go
I was
back,
like,
Joe.
I
Go
don't want
back.
to. I don't
Go
want to.
back.
I don't want to talk to you guys ever again for
Yeah.
letting me sit through that because that was horrible. And and then it became a big thing on fucking YouTube.
Yeah, which is why I feel sorry for like the one of the worst jobs I could imagine is the people who work for
Moderate Reddit 50.
moderate.
Wait,
No.
Facebook and stuff, right?
Yeah, moderate.
I remember.
Have to go through every video that's been flagged
Oh yeah.
in Facebook
Oh,
or
dude,
in
I remember.
YouTube.
There was a video I saw of like some.
I think it was a Vice video I saw.
Yeah.
Of like one of these people who had been interviewed and
Yeah,
some of the
yeah.
shit that they had to
Awful,
like go through.
Yeah.
Right?
That job seems like the worst job on earth.
Oh, they're just like
yeah.
completely desensitized. Like just hearing them talk, they're just like
Yeah,
dead.
no, apparently
Yeah.
it's like obviously you'd have to like go through a bunch of really horrific views and really fucked up, really right opinions.
I think
And a
like,
lot of them apparently like a lot of them would like get really desensitized and become like really fucked the more they did
Yeah.
this job.
I think
Yeah.
I think it was that Vice documentary where like the girl said that like, oh yeah, once you apply for this position, you just like immediately like get therapy.
Yeah.
Like it just comes with the
Awful.
package.
Yeah, it comes with the package
Yeah.
that there is a therapist.
Yeah.
Maybe on site, maybe online, I don't know.
I
But
don't
like,
know.
What a terrifying thought.
I know.
There's a job out there that immediately requires you to have therapy.
Yeah.
but kind of like they need they're the fucking real heroes. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
there needs to be someone out there that makes the fucking internet safer for people
Yeah.
like us that don't want to see that on our timeline.
Otherwise, what's the difference between the normal web and the dark web at that point, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
it'd just be
right?
exactly the same thing.
Exactly right. I just hope they're getting treated fucking fairly and treated well and getting paid well.
I hope
'Cause
they
that
get
is a
the
fucking
best-
horrible job.
I hope they
I
get the
don't think
best
they are.
fucking therapists on the planet.
That's the
Yeah.
sadder thing, right? My God.
If they don't have the best fucking therapists on the planet, like Jesus Christ, it's not worth.
Damn.
Didn't mean to make the ending of the podcast that morbid.
We went through some weird topics. I
That
feel
was-
like I say that every episode. Though.
This is
like,
a weird
what a
one.
weird
Yeah,
episode.
that was a weird tangent. It wasn't, sometimes you tangent on in the happy end, and sometimes you tangent on in the weird and dark ends. And unfortunately or not, that was one of the podcasts where it tangents into
Hey man, that's
a
the
weird
appeal of
dark
trash
place.
taste. You'll never know what we're going to
Yeah.
talk
You
about
never know.
next.
You never know.
I'm sorry,
You never
we'll talk about shitting next week just to brighten things
We'll
up.
talk about
man.
shit.
Just
I just shit myself.
Speaking of bright spots, though, look at these patrons.
look at that.
They
Look at that.
make us happy.
They bring a smile to our
Yeah,
face.
they make me forget about the horrible shit I saw on the dark web. So thank you for that. your contribution gives me joy. But if you'd like to support the show and all the messed up things we talk about sometimes, then go over to our Patreon, patreon.com/trashtaste. Also follow us on Twitter, send us your memes on the subreddit, and if you enjoy our face, or if you hate our face, listen to us on Spotify. If you enjoy our face, watch us on YouTube, like you are now.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you for watching.
All right.
Bye.
See you guys next week.
Bye.